World premiere.
So welcome one and all to LZS Live, the second biggest shit show that is going to be on the internet.
What a fucking front!
It's fucking true, though. Oh, it's fucking true this year.
I mean, we had some competition, right? We had such a... Expectations were high.
Oh, expectations
And
were
then
too high.
Results were low.
Oh, God.
The
You know
bar
what?
was
We
set
haven't-
so low.
It's been a couple of weeks. No, it's only been a week, but it feels like it's been much longer, but I tell you what.
The bar was
It's-
so
yeah.
low it was practically a tripping hazard in hell, but here you are, limbo dancing with the devil.
At E3 2021.
I'm talking about you, Gearbox!
That's
Capcom
one...
was off the-
Brand didn't even finish the intro, and we're already like, oh,
Anyway,
tune off.
Because it's not even
worth
game...
it.
Because it's not game related, it's so funny. The whole Gearbox thing with the movie, it was like
Oh my
Randy fucking
God.
Pitchford, like interrupting the people he was supposed to be interviewing. He was like doing this stuff, and then when they were
That's how you
still
do
answering, he
it.
was like, it's like, what the fuck is this shit?
It's so true.
Shut the fuck up. He just likes hearing himself. He just masturbates to his own
Really
voice,
good.
I think.
Even when, like, I don't like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is, like, he's done naughty stuff and said horrible things. I don't personally like him. I don't even think he's that funny. But even when he was with Kevin Hart, he was just like, Kevin Hart, how are you? Okay, cool! Like, smacks him in the face, pushes him over because he's so tiny. Fuck you, Kevin Hart. I'm the star of the show.
Who was the director again? Was it
he
Eli
starring
Roth
in
or who was it?
What, the
Was one of
guy
those-
head of Gearbox?
It was one of those horror directors, wasn't it? Was it Eli Roth or who was the
I've
director?
no
I
idea.
didn't
I'll
watch all
Google.
of it.
Bored. Wow, I can't even spell.
I know it
Anyway,
was
maybe
one of-
we should start at the start.
No. Maybe we should
Bram.
start at like let's start with the big thing. What's the one thing that comes to mind from all of the things that were from the few things that were announced at E3? What's the first
Wait,
thing
we
that
haven't
comes to
even
mind?
said this is the post E3 one. This is the post E3. It happened.
This is the
Hi, we're
post
talking about
show.
E3, in case you're wondering.
Biggest shit show in
I mean, people who clicked on this saw the title, right? I don't think anyone's gonna be like,
Maybe they tripped. Like Capcom.
just like what?
they were just masturbating and they tripped and their dick hit the mouse and they
Isn't
clicked
the
something and they're
episode
like,
about
what did I click?
gatekeeping? What?
This is not porn. This is not porn. What is
Jesus,
this?
spoilers, Chris.
We're gonna gatekeep E3. That's the lowest bar ever. Bitch, I'm so depressing in life. I'm gonna gatekeep
that's-
E3.
That's like hiring a bouncer for a club nobody goes to.
Yes, and its name is E3.
Okay, Jesus. All right. Yeah, Bram.
Sorry,
you
Bram,
mentioned
yeah.
The one thing that stuck with us. This was the first E3. I didn't even remember anything of the announcements, particularly, but this is the first E3 that I fell asleep to. That never happened before in the last 4 or 5 years of me watching and actually just also
you
producing
genuinely
content on
fall
E3.
asleep?
I fell asleep during
one
the
did you
Future
fall
Games show, which was actually good, but PC Games was right before that, and that drained my fucking life force.
Yeah.
I didn't know
But-
that. That is new information.
It's like,
That's amazing.
I woke up to
It's-
the
yeah.
soothing voice of Troy Baker.
I mean, that's how we all want to wake up, mate. Let's be honest. that man could narrate some things. I don't like you're not seeing what I'm doing on the desk right now, but I'm doing this weird hand motion of this as I talk about Troy.
Don't do that.
I can't describe what I'm doing right now.
it's like an invisible hand dryer. Like,
Yes, Troy Baker is a hand dryer.
So what stuck with you guys from this year's E3? Boy, not everyone had one.
how wrong we were.
What? Shit, that's a depressing thought.
I'll tell you what stuck with me. How arrogant I was that I was like, Breath of the Wild 2 is not there. Dude, if you go back to the last podcast, I'm so aggressively like, no, it's not gonna be there. That's what stuck with me. How wrong I was.
I think they just wanted to prove us wrong because they like showed everything that we thought they were gonna show. They didn't show, and then everything we were like, that's not gonna be there. It's like, here it is.
That is true.
They just watched our podcast. And we were like,
Maybe we should have switched it up.
All of the
Next
publishers and
year-
developers were like, no, don't do that.
Next year,
which means Todd.
Next
Howard
year we'll
will
just
do
do that.
In which case, hi Todd. I'll
Hi,
leave.
Todd.
next year we'll just go like, I don't think they're gonna announce Persona 6, like that type of stuff. We should say that, you know.
Don't jinx it. There's a
Damn,
lot
now they
on
know
the
our
line.
plan. Aha! Now we could go with either plan because they don't know which one we're gonna do,
Oh,
right?
that's true.
Chaos
Now we
is
fooled
our
them.
ally.
That's true. Oh god. Yeah.
Uh,
well, I'm pretty sure I'll say this again in the summarizing, but I'm not staying up to watch E3 next year. If it's like beyond the hour of 10 o'clock, I'm not watching it. I'll just watch it the next day, sped through. I'm not staying up
But
anymore.
that doesn't help. You remember when I said that I fell asleep during future games and PC gaming?
Well, exactly. But then you still had a nice, pleasant nap, and you woke up to Troy Baker.
Yeah, but that was when I was rewatching it. I didn't watch that live.
You still
was
had a
on
more
an
enjoyable
afternoon.
experience.
After a normal day.
Yeah.
It's not the
Oh my
timing
God, that was-
drains you,
Anyway,
it's the
but that's just my
content.
summary. I've now taken away that I'm not staying up to watch E3 anymore. I'll watch it the next day. I can't be arsed.
Well, so the one thing that we definitely need to say at this point is that this basically sets up the fact that we're gonna get back to all these things that we just said, and we're gonna give more context clues to the entire story behind these bullshit situations.
You know what's
Like-
really weird? I listened to a podcast the other day, and they were like, "This was the best E3 so far," and I genuinely
What?
I know.
Did they watch it?
I
Did they
don't
accidentally
know.
watch-
They did talk about some of the games, so I don't know. Or they saw it on a Twitter feed.
Did they summarize?
No,
like,
they genuinely
there
said
was a-
that this was the best E3. They genuinely said that.
What?
I know. I got really mad.
were
I
they
actually
paid by
got
Bethesda?
really mad.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Like, was that
I don't
podcast?
know if,
But
like they record. I can't remember if the podcast was recorded halfway through like E3's run, like they hadn't got to Nintendo or whatever, or they just seen Xbox or something. But I was like, are you shitting me? Are you really saying that this is the best E3? No.
I mean,
What were they doing? Were they mainlining Worcester sauce? Like, jeez.
if you just watched like Microsoft and like the fucking Summer Games Fest, then it could still be a decent E3, but not like the best E3. Like, what the fuck?
Far from it, and it went downline from there and kind of peaked again with Nintendo, and then it stopped.
Yeah.
Then it
Anyway.
sizzled and died.
Anyway, shall
So,
we start off?
Yes,
This
on
year
to the
was a science
biggest.
curve.
Let's get into the biggest shit show of this year.
Okay, so this year's E3 kicked off with a non-E3 event that everyone has put under the bracket of E3, which is Summer Games Fest.
Jeff Keighley!
The Jeff Keighley Variety
think
Hour
it should-
is back once again. And I'm going to put my hand up and say it was probably my favourite.
Which is kind of a depressing
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah, it is really a depressing thought because it wasn't even part of E3.
I know how they could make like should just make that thing Summer Games Fest and just get like just put all the games there and just fuck off with every tree and there's like separate conferences and just hire some like put some of the talent that they put like Troy Baker and Laura Bailey, just put them there and that just fixes it, and then we have a good E3 even though
And
if
then-
the games are
and then we only have to watch
lackluster.
one thing. One thing.
Yeah.
Idea.
I mean,
Let all the publishers take all of their game trailers, put it into a shared Google Drive, and send that link to me.
oh no. Oh,
That
no.
would be really good. Then you can really pick and choose. You can really be like, oh, that has a fun title, or oh my god, I can't believe they're making a sequel to that. Instead of like, I don't want to see another. Oh my god, another trailer for that fucking Monster Hunter World game that appeared. It was the new
Control
Kingdom
F,
Hearts.
Winks of light.
Yeah, that sounded like that.
Oh my god, it was the new Kingdom Hearts. It was at every conference.
It was at like 4 different conferences.
It was really bad.
Christ.
And it was
Anyway.
also the storytelling was so anime-esque that it almost sounded like Kingdom Hearts as well.
Hold on, I'm gonna
We
find-
need to
Anime-esque.
find the light. something
Hunter
like
Stories
something
2.
fucking.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ,
no!
even the title is a mouthful.
It's fucking. It was awful.
Damn.
It doesn't even look fun. It's not even.
And they also
it's
did
out
something
now?
new
Do
this
Monster
year.
Hunter fans? I don't know. Do the Monster Hunter fans like this? I thought Monster Hunter was always about like, oh, these monsters look pretty cool and like somewhat realistic, and then you produce this game that is, sorry to say, but anime is dicks.
Amen, sister.
By the way-
it's out in a week.
Something else. Didn't they also announce a game and then the sequel to the game?
They did.
time.
Wait, was
what?
that a Nintendo? Hold on.
That was I think it was at Nintendo or something, but they
No,
announced the
he's
game
right.
and
The
then the
Monster
sequel to
Hunter
the
thing had
No,
a.
there was another. It was another game. It wasn't Monster Hunter.
Oh, I thought
they
it
announced.
was.
I think
I
there
completely
was.
missed that.
What was it? There was some fucking thing, and they announced like
I do
game
remember
and then
that,
its
'cause we were
sequel
like,
or
why have
something.
they announced the next one after this one's not even out? It was really weird.
I mean, that's like they announced
Anyway,
those
we need to-
Avatar movies.
Let's go through this. Right, so has everyone got the spreadsheet up? Bless him, by the way. Connor's not
We
here
have a spreadsheet?
today. Oh, yeah.
Oh
there's
yeah,
a-
right.
my
Connor died
spreadsheet.
out of disappointment,
Yeah.
so,
So,
he can't be with us today. We have
so
his memoirs written.
we
down.
have a table that he's very beautifully made up for us, and he's also written us a fucking essay of his thoughts and opinions of particular conferences, and we're gonna skim through them. But I'm gonna be honest, Connor, you should have calmed the fuck down.
He wrote more than I've written for my master thesis,
So,
and that is not a joke.
So, yeah, I guess, do we want to go through everything, or do we want to just kind of pick out the worst and the best?
I
There's
think.
not- I mean, we can maybe skim through like something like future games, but the rest, if something doesn't seem interesting, we just skip it.
Okay, cool. So, okay, what was everyone's favorite game of Summer Games Fest? Let's go through that.
Oh boy.
Phew, that's definitely hard.
I mean,
I
I
don't,
know
what
what
I don't
yours
really
is.
think there was much.
I wonder what mine is too.
Jesus.
It was when they talked about skins for everyone.
There wasn't really that much that really got me
Absolutely.
excited, to be honest. I mean, there's a few things that
So
are
maybe we
interesting,
start with
but
your
nothing.
favorite then, which is dinosaurs going raw.
Yes, I was very excited. Jeff Goldblum turned up and said the world premiere, which I would like to know is now being inserted into the podcast now.
World premiere.
Boom. Did you enjoy Jeff Goldblum's voice?
We always enjoy to
Gaff.
Jeff Keighley's
To
voice.
gaff.
What?
Yeah, Jurassic World Evolution 2. I'm excited! But, like, not as... I guess as a fan, but also as a bit of a park builder, there's not a lot of... Nothing really feeds that itch that I've got to make dinosaurs eat people. So, yay!
God, I sure hope there's nothing that would make me feel that itchy.
Yeah, but,
but it was
will
just a CGI
will
trailer.
it live up? Good questions. Will it live up to Monster Hunter Stories 2? I mean,
God, no. I want the cat from that trailer as my fucking pet to fucking slap me in the face every morning.
Oh god, I just can't believe that game exists. Yeah, so...
Wait, what was... Sorry, but was that also at Summer Games Fest?
I think it was. Yes, it was.
God.
It was.
Oh, come on.
It was the first time
yeah,
we saw it.
that's why I joked about it. It was also fucking there.
It
It was
wasn't.
everywhere.
When did it next turn up again? Was it Square Enix? No, who makes? No, it's Capcom. Oh yeah. Anyway,
Remember, kids, if you buy this game, you support our suffering.
Also, I was a bit surprised, but did anyone know? Does anyone care about Tiny Tina's Wonderland, which is Borderlands, but like D&D fucked it in the ass?
I think a lot of people are probably very excited for this.
That's what I've heard as well. A lot of
I'm
people are like,
not.
ah.
I still need to see
Then
how
again,
it,
I've never been a big
how it
fan of
works.
Borderlands to begin
Oh
with.
god, it's so boring. Sorry, everyone, but Borderlands is really.
I mean,
boring.
Borderlands does get boring for like I don't know what it is about it, but like
Oh,
I think I played through the first game with like me and Metal just played through the first game entirely like together, and that was fun because you could play together. But then we tried that again afterwards, and we never really finished any of them together. So I guess that first game was like enough, and then we just had enough of that, I suppose.
Oh, Norman Reedus climbed into a box. I've just remembered that.
I know it's stupid.
That was really weird. That was it. I thought it was gonna be when the trailer started. I remember thinking, "Oh, is this just gonna be like a new game mode that they're gonna add to Death Stranding, where it's just an Easter egg to Metal Gear?" But it wasn't. The Easter egg was the trailer, and then they were like, "Yep, we're making a new version of Death Stranding from the next generation of console." And you're like, "Oh, great!"
Yay!
Rather you
So
just-
here's my theory.
oh no.
Here's my theory. This is the director's cut, right? So we can assume that it's
Oh, and Hideo
extended.
Kojima came on and he was like, "Oh, 9/11." We were like, "What?"
Wait, what?
Wait. Let me ask this question for a second. It's called the director's cut. Fucking Hideo Kojima has its own company. Why the fuck would there be a director's cut?
Because he wants you to give him more money so he can make his
Most
next.
violent in the world.
He can make his next depressing game about.
Yeah, but here's my theory, right?
The next one's about mopeds.
It's just gonna be Truck Simulator. Here's my theory, right?
That would be really funny. Sorry.
So I mean, it's already Truck Simulator with Ghost.
It's true.
Yeah, but here's my theory. So this is the director's cut, right? So they're just gonna take Death Stranding as it is, put it on the new console, and also add that scene from the trailer, and that's it.
Yeah. I just.
Like one
I
out
don't.
of three.
Does it. What? Hold on. I'm going to
mean,
Google
I could
what
come
the
up-
director's cut. The director's cut is like. Is it coming out just on PlayStation 5? Oh, okay. It's just coming out on PlayStation 5. But, like, why? No one cares. Did anyone even buy Death Stranding? Like, did a big enough amount of people buy Death Stranding?
I finished it 2 weeks ago.
How long were you playing that? God, you were playing that ages ago.
I took my time.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what.
Mostly,
Time.
the game is mostly just sad Norman Reedus trekking across New Zealand.
New Zealand. Oh, is Peter Jackson there?
Well, it's not. No, wait, actually, it's more like Iceland really than New Zealand. Now that I think about
Is-
it, land masses.
I can't think of anyone else. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, yeah. So Hideo Kojima just turned up and he was really depressed and sad, and he was like, "Everything's awful, and I'm gonna not make an awful game." And then he left.
Wait,
That's what he did.
wasn't it kind of positive though, because they showed you that and then you were like, "Oh fuck," and then they showed you Jurassic World. Is that
Yes,
how it
my
went?
mood did pick up. My mood did pick up
So I was like,
considerably quickly.
Not this shit again.
It really was.
fucking-
It really was.
Not fucking Postman Pat Simulator. Why?
This kind of this kind
the-
of was your conference though, right? Because after Jurassic World Evolution and a little bit of more, for example, the sequel to Salt and Sanctuary, you also get 2 Point Campus,
Yeah.
which is I think also up your alley.
Yeah, it is. That is also up my alley. Honest to God, this was my conference. And then we got Payday 3, which I'm not like overexcited about, but I do like Payday, so that was
I
also...
didn't even remember that.
Me neither. I remember they were like, I think they said we're making Payday 3, and then they were like, oh, okay, bye.
That seems to be a theme this E3.
What? That they were like, we're making a game. Bye.
Yeah, we're just gonna stand here and imagine making a game.
Yeah, there was a point
I mean-
in Summer Games Fest where they invited some dudes who now are making one of the PlayStation exclusives, and they were like, yep, we're making a game with PlayStation. That's it. That was it. They just stood there and were like, yes, PlayStation, and then Walmart.
God, I wish I could give presentations like this when I was back in school. Jesus.
My presentation will follow. Some
DLC.
Yeah, my presentation will follow.
We have a roadmap.
So, you didn't. You guys didn't talk about like drawing dicks on everything simulator called Chicory. Remember that
What?
game?
Oh,
Was
yeah,
like,
but that was after a
It was
Jurassic
like
World
an
Evolution 2.
8-bit
I'm not
thing,
gonna
and
lie.
It was like some drawing
For
shit.
about 10 minutes,
could
my
draw
blood
dicks on
pressure
everything.
was through the roof. I was riding a high, so I don't even remember that.
I wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure Griff fainted.
Could have happened. I don't remember. I wasn't there at that point yet, so I
No,
think
he
at one
wasn't
point
there
Griff
either.
probably-
So you just have to take my word for it that I lost.
I was
my
still
fucking
working.
Mind. Oh yeah, Rocket League announced that it was fucking the corpse of Fast and Furious with Fast and Furious DLC.
Jesus, that's straightforward.
Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt, a game which I'm pretty sure has restarted development about 3 times, also got confirmed that yes, it is still going to get made. By who we don't know, but it's going to get
Well,
made.
But there's two different Vampire Masquerade games, right? There's Blood Hunt and there's Swan Song. And I think one of them is only story focused and the other one is multiplayer focused as far as I understood it. And I think Blood Hunt was the multiplayer focused one.
Okay.
So that's confusing.
I know.
Because that's why I was like,
confusing.
Masquerade, oh my god.
So, and then we also got reminded of the fact that Chivalry 2 was a thing that was made at one point.
Oh, yeah.
And that reminded us that Chivalry 1
Chivalry 2
existed
was
at
made.
one point.
And Slash
was it?
released 2 days before the conference.
Yeah, just like, here it
Yeah,
is.
Chivalry 2 is out. And they were like, oh my god, remember this game? I was like, yeah, it's out. What are you doing?
It's like, do you remember this game? No.
I'd love if someone just came in and said, no, I don't remember that game.
See, this is why I
There was
miss
also-
the hecklers from this year. We need a live audience for this kind of stupid shit.
No.
Yes.
Damn.
Actually, tell you what, yes. I agree because they do add a flair of fun to E3, but Games Awards, it's really annoying because they have to pander to an audience. So I agree. I think for one, it's great, and for the other, it's a terrible idea.
Maybe they can pay us. We could just sit there. Then we throw
Just us
popcorn.
three dudes sitting in an empty arena going, woo!
I don't think anyone's paying
I'm
us
so
after this
excited for
episode.
Chivalry 2! I can't contain myself!
They also talked about Overwatch 2. Also brought its limping old body of sack of shit in
I'm not
to
being paid.
to show that it was getting a repaint of some people, and then it walked
know
off
what?
again.
Here's the funny thing. With their fucking game, like, with Overwatch, it's like, hey, here's different skins of, like, characters and stuff. They used to, like, make a lot of skins and stuff. What did they show off? Oh, we redesigned the characters. You make skins for fucking characters all the time. What the
know.
fuck is this shit? Like, why?
No
What is
Q put
important
in
about
his
this?
abridged of this conference. Overwatch 2 has finally learned how to do hair, apparently, and then they left.
The only thing that I could think of that would be like a selling point to be like, oh, there's an Overwatch 2. If they said, hey, there's a multiplayer and single player campaign and here's a snippet or something. That would be like a selling point, right? Because just like, otherwise it's just the same game. Like,
But it had a 2 at the end.
it had like, it was like a game that had no actual story mode apart from that, like, in that weird
which is
thing.
still a
about
fucking
2
waste.
years later.
That weird
yeah.
little add-in.
I remember
I
that
don't know
game
what the
coming
fuck
out
that
and
was
thinking
supposed to
it
be.
had
It had so much lore, doesn't
story.
it?
Like I remember
was so
thinking, oh my
disappointing.
god, I thought it was. Yeah. Anyway, then D&D brought itself into the room for some reason with a game that actually looked good, and Bram has now purchased for himself. Has he played it yet? Question mark.
Barry has played it and she said that it plays pretty smooth.
Okay, cool.
I mean, we weren't
kind of glossed
expecting
over-
anything really special or
I'm
something.
glossing over a lot of stuff, but you can bring up whatever you want, dude.
Yeah, we kind of glossed over the Studio Ghibli ripoff. Planet of Lana. 2D side
Oh,
scroller
I don't even
with-
remember that.
Yeah, 2D side scroller. Jesus, E3 make me lose my last 3 brain cells. Brain free. Yeah, that looked pretty fun. We don't really know what it plays like yet. If it's like a walking simulator
yes,
kind
I
of
do
thing or
remember
something
this.
similar to like let's say Ori, but at least the art style looked pretty cool.
Yes, no, yeah, and that was one of the like 3 indies that they showed off, because everything else was not a AAA, but it was more like everyone knows the name of this, and we're just gonna like be like, oh my god, game, and like, oh, we get it.
Double
Calm
A?
down. Did I say double A? Oh, double A.
No, like Jesus.
They're a brand of battery. They're a brand of battery. Then Monster Hunter Stories 2 made its first tease. It put one leg out of the curtain and was like, I'm here, but just you wait, I'm gonna strip off in about 3 conferences time.
Yeah, this is about roughly like the first
Wait.
rat invading Europe with the like plague.
Um,
Which ironically, there's a game about that coming up in another conference.
which was a bit of a shocker
Also-
actually that was getting a sequel.
We get to that.
Also, I just read that there was a game called Endless Dungeon, which is probably the best way to describe the fucking PC gaming show, isn't it? that's coming up. That was a fucking Endless Dungeon. God
Well, I
damn
would
it.
suppose that a
Yeah.
dungeon would at least have interesting things to explore, right?
Hold on.
Also, I just realized the spreadsheet Connor made for us, thank you very much, Connor, does not have an entry for the PC game show.
Yeah,
So we're
because
just gonna
it's-
gamble. That's actually a
Would
mini
you?
game in the middle of this episode. You have to guess what you remember from the PC gaming show, and if you get it right, you get Jeff Keighley comes and pats you on the back. But if you get it wrong, you have to watch the PC
Well,
gaming
he
show
comes
again.
on
Every
your
time you
back.
get it wrong, you have to rewatch the PC gaming show that many times.
Like from the start, and then you have to recite it from memory.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
God, this is my definition of a Sisyphus hell.
If you get it right, he comes and pats you on the back, but if you get it wrong, he just comes on your back.
Oh God.
Then Back for Blood got its first trailer that would be repeated again at some point in the future, which is a game that
But I'm
still very looking forward to.
I mean, they don't really have to do much to make that game a success, right? They just have to emulate what made like Left 4 Dead successful because that's still a good game,
And put it on
and
a
they
console.
just need to make it play smooth, and maybe some of the things, maybe the ragdolling could be more interesting than it was, because I think in Left 4 Dead, like the zombies when they fell through each other as well. I think they no-clip through each other like bodies of zombies. So if there's
Sounds
some
like Valve.
if there's a bit of like collision to them, that would be hilarious, right? If you shoot a zombie and it falls against another dead zombie and it trips over it, that would be amazing. If you have like
That would
actual
be
stacks
pretty
of dead zombies and you're like, oh shit, but that's probably not gonna happen. But I mean, if they just make another Left 4 Dead with other enemies, it's
pretty
a
nice.
hit. I mean, that's
Their
guaranteed.
entire marketing is basically Valve is not doing this anymore, so give
Yeah.
us money instead.
And they are, because they're really pumping out that it's the same team that made Left 4 Dead. They're like, from the team that brought you Left 4 Dead, we get it. You can't think of any more original ideas, so you're just remaking an old game that another publisher is just holding the rights to. Who is calling me? Everyone is at home.
No.
How is
This
someone
Gabe-
calling?
This is Gabe Newell calling you that he fucking put
Oh,
a
he is.
hitman
Yeah,
on
he
you.
was. He heard. He was like, "Wait, are you guys talking about Left 4 Dead? Half-Life 3? This is Half-Life 3 confirmed." He's like, "Shh, don't tell
Pick it
anyone
up.
we're
They're
working on
calling in.
Half-Life 3."
Hey,
Oh, yeah, it's the answering machine. I want to see who it is. Sorry, hold on. I'm gonna remove this because I get the power of doing that.
I wouldn't have done it.
Oh no, they hung up before the end of the voice message.
Damn.
Was Gabe
So-
Newell.
I guess we have something to say about all of this. Like we said, when it comes to that, like back for Blood, it's like we said that like people probably wanted a third Left 4 Dead as well. So
Yeah.
I
I mean, fine.
if
I
this
mean,
is the way
let's
to do
be
it,
honest. I think 2 of the 3 of us here are definitely going to probably play it. The third.
Why?
Yeah. That wasn't a high that he was going to buy it. He's the other one. So then we had the appearance of the... Oh, I can't make that joke because no one here is British enough to get it.
No.
But Tunic turned up with a fox who is cosplaying as Link. Then we had the Evil
Again.
Dead, which Bram and I both... Actually, I think everyone in that call quite liked the look of. Weird, you were the only one who was like, no.
I
Oh,
do
I'm
like the look
also
of it.
hesitant
I
about
just get
something.
very much reminded of the Friday the 13th game, and that has this bit of a
That was-
bitter aftertaste, like Jason just stabbed you with a rusty machete. But that's besides the point.
Yeah. You know what it is? It was like I could see like a clump of gold, but there was also shit at the bottom of it, because it felt like I could see like, ooh, this also reminds me of Left 4 Dead to some degree, because it's a team up and you have enemies and you're just wrecking their assholes, and that's the gold. But then there was like the shit flavor of
we
like a bit of a
watching the
Friday the 13th thing, and I was like, well, that game wasn't that good. And I was like, is there gonna be some shit on the gold nugget, or is this just gonna be good? I don't know. It's
So yeah, in summary, just rinse off the game and you'll probably find a gold nugget.
Pretty much. But
we also forgot to
and
talk
then we
about the
ended.
ugliest. No. We forgot to talk about
Oh, are you talking
the
about
ugliest
you're talking about
game.
Tribes of Midgard?
Tribes of
Oh,
Midgard.
God.
That fucking art style looks horrendous.
Was that
That's
at
the
the PC
ugliest
Gamer
art
Show?
style
It
I've
was
ever
at
seen.
Another conference, and the dude talked about it for like a really long time, and it was like,
Yes.
no one cares.
Why?
See, this is where the
Why?
point where I would have to restart the PC gaming show because I don't remember this.
I think he was at the PC Gamer Show. I'm trying to see if it does appear anywhere else. Can't see it.
It's gotten so bad that I don't even remember if it's called PC gaming or PC gamer show.
I mean, the PC Game Show was also like a dick tease. Like the robot was threatening to kill everyone, and I was thinking, do it, get over with this shit, kill everyone,
Take them.
And then we got the most surprising thing about Summer Games Fest, which, in fairness, was a shock. Did not think this game was gonna get announced, let alone a release date. Elden Ring suddenly turned up out of nowhere. It was like, oi, I'm still here, and actually, I'm almost ready.
I mean, I can understand.
I didn't
that
expect
they
it
published
there.
it. I didn't expect it at Summer Games Fest.
Yeah, that was the shock.
because I think I said in like I don't know if I don't remember if I remember this correctly, but I think I said something about it, like potentially getting something about it in the our predictions, but obviously I didn't think it was going to be like just Summer Games Fest or something. It's going to be like,
And that's what made me, I think, when Elden Ring turned up, I was like, this has solidified a little bit of the legitimacy of Summer Games Fest or that particular conference. Like, if they can get Elden Ring to turn up and like be announced with a release date at this, that to me gives some genuine legitimacy for like it being a serious E3 conference contender.
I also really like that they put it out at Summer Games Fest, which is basically platform independent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Dark Souls and all the Soulsborne games have always been a bit more distributed across platforms, maybe with the exceptions of Bloodborne. So I really like that they did it here and didn't, for example, choose Xbox instead.
And in fairness, look, I make all these jokes about Jeff Keighley, you know, fucking the gaming industry into his own submission, but he wants to make Summer Games Fest a place where everyone gets to like showcase, like everyone from big guys to the little guys, and he did that. Let's be honest, Summer Games Fest did what it was set out to do, and it told us all a range of different titles.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with Summer Games Fest is that a lot of people don't believe in it yet. So you have, of course, the big guys like Xbox and Microsoft and Nintendo holding it for themselves, but also other publishers are not going to put their stuff there because they might as well just deliver it themselves.
Yeah. I think that's also the thing with the last 18 months or so, is that people have learned that they can just do this themselves. They don't need a time of year to do it. They just do it themselves.
Front runner PlayStation.
Even though I've already forgotten what happens in the Horizon gameplay that was released 3 weeks ago. It's left my brain.
I feel like it definitely has less of an impact if they just like spread it out.
Yeah.
It definitely does.
I remember, like, even the PlayStation 5 reveal, in my head, that was more of an experience than them just drop feeding. Even, like, with The Last of Us 2 gameplay, when people, like, when we spoke about in the run-up to that, we said, so what gameplay was this? What reveal was this? It wasn't at one event. It got distributed strangely over an amount of time, and to a consumer, that doesn't build up any excitement. For me, personally, that's like, well, it wasn't at this big thing. It wasn't at this place where I can talk about it all in one go.
Yeah, it does kind of take away the excitement of the entirety of E3, and in my opinion, that is already a bit scratching on the base of justifying having E3 in the first place.
Well, here we go, but that's, yeah. But Elden Ring, that was, that was a surprise.
Definitely.
To be fair, I never was big into the Soulsborne games, but I know a lot of people are excited for this. I've spoken with quite a few people who were saying it looks really good, and it does have quite a fair share of things that makes a difference from previous games of the spiritual successors of these or predecessors. So yeah, I mean, I don't. See
They
a
also
reason why
said
this should be
that
bad.
like the thing with this is, and I think this could potentially be seen as like a way of diverging from the Souls-like games in general. I think it was said that the game was supposed to also invite like a type of like experimentation with the battle itself, so you could handle the battles in multiple ways. Whereas
Yes,
a
I
lot of
heard
those
something about
Souls-like
that.
games, the Souls-like games aren't like that. They're basically, and that's one of the main reasons why I don't like these games. I just don't like boss fights because they feel tedious. I don't like fighting the same thing for like 10 minutes. That's not my thing. I get bored of that and I can't do that. That's another thing. But what the problem is with me for these Souls-like games, it feels like you have to handle each boss a specific way. It's like, oh, I mean, it would be fun if you could do this multiple ways and if you could find your own way and use your own strengths. But nope, there's this one way to do this, and that's most of the time how it works as well. And I feel like the Souls-like games have also like focused on different things. Like, for example, I think in the main series, like of Dark Souls, I think it was like more of the shield was like a handy thing, whereas in Bloodborne it was more about dodging and then finding your time to attack and being aware of how long your animations are and compared to the enemy's animations, that type of bullshit. Whereas I think what was the other one called again?
Sekiro.
The fucking Sekiro was more about parrying, like finding the right time to like deflect an attack and get your own attack in. So that's what I mean. Like, you have those options, but those games were really focused on specific things and had specific ways to play them. Whereas if this is more open and maybe somewhat easier, it's gonna drag more people in.
Might be. It might also lose the well, let's say tough main crowd of Soulsborne games.
It's weird because go on.
Not if you have like a nightmare mode or something. I mean,
it's a bit weird, right? Because everybody assumes, Elden Ring is the next entry in the Soulsborne series. It is by From Software, that's true. But that doesn't necessarily imply that they won't change anything. And I think change is always welcome, in my opinion.
Agreed. And I like that games become more accessible to more people. Games should be accessible to more people. But it's weird. With those types of games, I've always thought in my head, it's like they weirdly gatekeep themselves from everyone. Like, you really restrict your audience in that sense, and so did the fan base. It's this weird circle where it's kind of hard to penetrate it. So yeah, but anyway, I'm just gonna quickly so Connor said he was really looking forward to Jurassic World Evolution 2. Been meaning to play the first, but I guess I'll have to now play the second. He liked the look of Two Point Campus, and also the planet of Lana, and I think it will be a nice chill game. Back 4 Blood 2 looks great with friends, but I'm not sure if I'm going to play it outside of a friendship group. And Elden Ring 2, I'm not into it, but I like that it did turn up. So basically shared the same opinions as we did.
Yeah, I mean the Back 4 Blood thing, that's basically how it is. Like, I never played Left 4 Dead by myself. That's not how you play that game. That's a game you play when you have like friends and there's like, hey, let's play. Like, we want to play a game. Let's play through this. It's like how we played the ripoff that was based on that fucking boring movie. What's it called again? World War Z.
Yes, I mean we had fun with that, but
was a good. It was still a decent game. I mean, a decent ripoff. A good ripoff, even.
It really was. But yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, what will we? How many Jeff Keighley's out of Jeff Keighley's would you rate Summer Games Fest?
Oh, there's only one Jeff Keighley.
So you give it one Jeff Keighley.
Yeah, but 1 out of 1.
1 out of 1. Okay. Oh wow, that's a pretty good score.
No, but I generally live if we had 10 Jeff.
If we had 10 Jeff Keighley's lined up in a row.
Is it Keighley's or Keighley? Never mind. If we had 10 Jeff Keighleyoses, I'd give it a 7, maybe.
That's a 7, Jeff Keighley?
Maybe 6.5.
Wow, you're going to cut a Jeff Keighley in half.
If necessary, yes, I will murder a Jeff
So are you going to go lengthways or are you going to go sideways?
Oh, diagonally. Just slash
Ooh, that's really gruesome.
But try not to,
He's not even going to make it a clean cut. He's going to cut organs. It's like...
This got weirdly specific. Jeff Keighley, I love you. I would never murder you or your clones.
Jeff Keighley, I wouldn't murder you, but I'm ready to picture it.
Jesus Christ! All right.
Graham, what would you rate Summer Games Fest at? How many Jeff Keighley's?
I think I would rate it like about 8 Jeff Keighley's and 1 Jeff Goldblum.
Wow. Whoa. So that's a It's like when you got the lottery. There's a bonus number at the end. So you've got all your numbers plus you've got a bonus. Wow, blimey. What would I rate? I'd probably rate Summer Games Fest probably about a 7 Jeff Keighley out of 10 Jeff Goldblums.
Damn.
The fuck is that measurement?
Yeah.
How does that relate?
I'd give it 7
How does Jeff Keighley even measure up to Jeff Goldblum?
Apples and pears.
He doesn't. You need about 100 Jeff Keighley's so you can get 1% of a Jeff Goldblum. That's how it works.
So you basically give it like 0.1%?
Jesus.
No, I've given it 7 Jeff Keighley's out of 10 Jeff Keighley's. Anyway, moving on.
Jeff Keighley on a good day and Jeff Goldblum on a bad day kind of evens out.
Yeah, it depends on the mood. Depends on like which Jeff I would rather, chill.
All right.
Anyway, next up.
Jeff and chill.
Anyway, next up, the sex offenders are back with Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. We don't love you.
Anyway, this is a pretty. This is
Most of the time they're
you know
not
what's
soft.
weird? Because they spent so long on these games, it's weird seeing it written down. There's like legitimately 6 games here. It was about an hour long, and it's only 6 games.
I mean, it
They
makes
already spent
sense,
the
right?
first 30 minutes with just the first.
They really did.
I mean, they always get distracted. I mean, they get distracted probably like by harassing
7.
people.
There's
It's
7
like,
games.
oh,
That's random.
let's go make a game. No, let's go harass.
Well,
someone.
let's go take the code from this game that's really popular and just put zombies in it. Done.
That's a fix. Yes.
Talking about Rainbow Six
And then
Extraction.
let's fire the intern.
It's weird because
So-
actually I quite like the look of Rainbow Six Extraction, but I guess because of the casual means.
I mean, it kind of like it has a like
Shut up! Don't look at me like that.
way. Like at one point, I thought of like a. At one point, I thought of like a survival type of game, like a scenario in my head, like that there was like you basically it's like you have like a city or something like a village or that type of shit, and it's like I didn't have like a zombie. It was like more of an alien invasion, and the idea there was that you like made your characters and stuff, and eventually if there's like characters, they could be like if they lose on a mission, they could basically be encapsulated in something. And I think that's one of the things that actually came in this game that I thought like, oh, that's an interesting idea. And then I thought of like, oh, wait, I thought of that idea in a game that I obviously didn't make because I don't know shit about making games. But like, oh, it's an idea that I thought of. So it's interesting to see it in a game. And that's actually, the rest of it was like, yeah, normal shooter, alien ass, shooting some alien asses.
It really was. It really just was reskinned Rainbow Six, which I guess comes with the title, but
It's gonna
That's
be hard to get
concept of,
headshots in this game. You're gonna want to shoot that ass. Like your attention goes to that alien ass. Like it's like,
it
ooh,
really,
yeah.
they did have quite a tissue.
I mean, I feel like shooting someone in the ass would still, incapacitate them majorly.
Ah.
Do you want to test that theory?
No, I'm just imagining like
Yes, I'm ready
just-
to shoot you in the ass. I'm not shooting myself in the ass.
you just see like
I know you would have.
Hey Griff, look,
I'm
here's
imagining
a
like aliens.
Come on.
Whoa!
I'm just
Oh,
imagining aliens
feels like a
talking
Friday
to each
night
other.
down there.
I'm just imagining those aliens talking to each other, and it's like, and and the aliens are just like they're talking to each other, and the humans don't understand what they're saying, so it's like a blah, 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 and then the other one like repeats that, and it's like, and then you hear what they're saying. It's like subtitles. Why do these fucking humans always shoot us in the ass? What the fuck is up with that?
It's their king.
It's like every time a human shows
Yeah.
up, like, oh.
I don't know if it was like the just the vibe of the room, but like in hindsight, I'm actually not that excited for Extraction. Like it's one of those games where I've walked away and I watched it, I was like, oh, that's a fun CGI trailer. Oh, that's the gameplay. Okay. Oh, I'm more interested. Oh, a butterfly. No, that's how my brain transferred that information.
Wasn't it a moth?
Oh, no moths this year.
Probably.
There were no moths this year. No moths this year. No moths. And then
probably
we
were.
had Rocksmith Plus.
Surprising.
I have nothing to say. I'm not a musical person. So
It wasn't really a game by definition, but it was still interesting to see.
yeah, it was a software that you just like go have fun with this.
It's basically a music learning app, but the problem that I've had in the way that they presented it compared to the first one, the first Rocksmith actually, on top of just like teaching you songs, which I guess a lot of people just want to play songs that already exist. But if you just want to learn like an instrument and learn how to play it and do your own stuff, then it's also interesting to learn some theory. And they didn't, like in the first Rocksmith and in the trailers for that, they showed like mini games where you could learn scales and stuff on the guitar and on bass. But here it was just like, hey, songs.
It really
so
was.
it's like,
It did focus on how it was just a learning tool. Like it's no,
Yeah, but-
it's not a game. It's there to serve a major purpose.
but it's also like a learning tool that only teaches it. Like from what they showed, it looked like it was only there to teach you how to play songs from a list of songs, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not specifically like. So what if you have like
But
really weird taste in
fairness,
music that's
in
not
fairness,
there?
if you can get like piano apps on your like iPhone or iPad, and it basically is the same thing though.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But a lot of those are going to teach you theory as well. This just looked like it was so song focused that I don't know if
True.
it's going to have anything of value to
but in
someone
fairness,
who
are
just
they
wants
going
to
to
do
talk
everything.
about the fact that it will teach you theory in an E3 press conference? Like, are
The
they really going to talk about that?
not they wouldn't put too much time in that, but they would show like, because they had those mini games where you had to like play Tetris or something or like shoot like or like Galaga or whatever by playing the right notes for a scale or something. I don't know. They had like mini games in the first one, which basically taught you theory. So they would have showed something like a little snippets of that, but they didn't show anything, which makes me assume that it's only like to learn songs and from a specific list. So who knows if they're gonna cover all sorts. They said that they were gonna cover all sorts of genres, but kind of depends. Like,
Sorry, I'm
I mean, I
distracted
do,
by Perry
I
in the
do.
background.
It said like there was gonna be a shitload of metal and that type of stuff. I know they said stuff about like pop music and stuff, but I mean,
it's going to pander to that audience, isn't it? Though, let's be honest. Was that you, Whit?
I don't know.
What was that banging?
I think that was my neighbor falling on his face.
Oh, okay. Well,
probably watch C3.
anyway, while someone... He went to the PC gaming show. He's doing the challenge.
He just got around to it, and my god, this guy probably just died of heart failure.
And we're joking about it.
Damn.
Yeah, then a game turned up.
No.
I don't know if I'm even... Should we even say the name, or should we just like make people guess what the game
Or
was?
should we just skip it?
That was a hot clue.
Hey,
Hot clue.
hey.
Riders
What a
Republic.
Yeah, there was no panda.
Oh well.
No pandas this
Riders
year, by the way.
Republic. Interesting. What did people think of Riders Republic? Because some people in the call that we were in were really kind of into it, and then there was us three who were like, we don't fucking give a shit.
I just hope this silly shit is gonna just tie me over until Skate 4 comes out, because I feel like I'm gonna have some fun with this physics-based bailing and shit. And I don't think this is a game I'm gonna be able to play by myself. But if it's me and Metal, we could do some silly shit on
Yeah,
that.
I just
And I
don't.
think we can enjoy.
Unless I'm with mates, yeah, I just don't think it's gonna be. I don't even want to pay for it. I just want it to be a PlayStation Plus game in like 3 years, and then I have fun with it.
But by then they have the service shut down.
And a season pass, and you have to pay for your private servers.
We have a roadmap.
Oh god, yeah, Riders
And the season
Republic,
pass
I
costs-
don't give a shit.
I mean, I think I'm just gonna enjoy it, like for the silliness of it, with
Perhaps
probably
it could
with Metal. Like that's basically it.
Yeah, but Steep was meant to be fun.
Ha!
Exactly.
Yeah, but to be fair, Steep was only snowboarding, and that gets redundant.
it
after a
also
while.
had the wingsuits.
Jesus.
Yeah, it did have the wingsuit, but I mean,
I mean,
I don't know how it is
skateboarding?
for you, but if it's like an environment does play a lot for me. Like for example, the biggest reason why I got like tired of GTA 5 was because I knew the map. So an environment does play a lot for me.
Yes,
And if you
I will
if,
agree.
if
it's a
all
bit like
your
Forza
environments,
in terms
if
of
you're
the map
playing
is-
like, if you're playing like snowed like mountains, and there's different in snow and mountains, but like it's all snowed out mountains, that gets boring after a while. So the thing with Riders Republic is that it's not gonna just be snowed out mountains.
agreed.
So
I
that's
don't-
gonna be a plus for it. So it's
Yeah. It's
basically
gonna be deserts and
it's
mountains
steep
and drugged off
with-
teenagers.
yeah,
Spring break. Woo! We both
Probably
went for the
something
woo,
like that.
really respect that. Next
Oh,
was Far Cry 6, which already had
which had its own thing.
gameplay launched a week before this. So, I'm gonna skip over this because I mean, Far
It
Cry
looked
6
alright.
Yeah, exactly. It's Weird's highlight of the conference. It's
not
Mario
here for
Rabbids Spark of High, which was leaked about 12 hours before the conference anyway.
Wait, the shit was leaked and not taken down by,
No, so Nintendo put it up on the
Federal
store.
Bureau?
No, Nintendo put it up on the store 12 hours before the conference.
I'm pretty sure this stuff
Wow.
is something you can only post to the dark web. Christ, this game.
So, Weird's really excited.
It's
You right there?
This game is the reason why, incest is illegal.
Wow. Jeez.
That's a negative thing now.
Have you seen the rabbits?
They're inbreeding.
I mean, they do look like...
Do the rabbits have a gender?
I don't know. Well,
Or do they just put a wig on them? Because that's what they did in this trailer.
Do you not like Rabid Rosalina? Did you not like that?
I'd rather shit in my hands and clap than see that again.
I'm pretty sure you've already used that as like a reason to not do something, like because you want to clap shit in your hands. So I think you should.
It's still valid.
As someone who owns the first Mario and Rabbids game, I do like that it's not turn-based in terms of like you're free to roam around in a circle. I enjoy that more than tactically go over there. I don't like that XCOM style of gameplay. Like I really don't.
Yep, I agree on that, and that's probably
That being said,
I
never finished the first one, so I also do not give a shit.
But the thing is, as well, like the first one, like when the first one was announced, everyone was like, "Ha, bullshit! What's
Yeah,
this
we
stupid
did.
shit?" And then it was
now
like
we
a
live in a world where
surprise
there's a
hit,
sequel.
and then people were like, "Yeah, this is actually good." But now you had that first one where a lot of people said, "Oh, this is actually good." So now the second one comes out, so the expectations are going to be higher. So there's also a bigger chance that it may suck balls.
I didn't even know that people liked it. Like, it genuinely was one of those games where it came out, I owned it, and then I forgot it existed.
Also, can we stop talking about this now because we have the most... Wait. We have the biggest announcement of all of E3 coming up, right?
Oh boy.
Blue people
We all...
in
Everybody
space.
also forgot that existed.
So James Cameron's big throbbing, whimpering boner came and bashed on Ubisoft's already great reputation at the moment and decided to make another Avatar game.
Oh, a dick.
Did this dick give an interview? Just wondering.
Maybe. Will a dick introduce the game?
Did the dick just like bash into people without asking for consent first?
Like who? Okay, I gotta ask it.
Do the Navi have dicks?
No, they've got the. Well, they do have some.
Here's a valid question.
Well, I haven't seen the film. I've seen the film once. No, that's a lie. Twice. I tried to rewatch it, I think, last year in lockdown, but I only got halfway through and I had to stop because I was like, I'm so bored. Like,
Can we
legitimately,
get
I think...
James Cameron in here?
I think I got to the point, where he's like... I don't even know where this is in the movie, but he gets to the point where he's going to sleep. His first time he's going to sleep as a blue person, then he wakes up.
It's like
Do you
30
remember?
minutes.
Okay, so I got there and then I had to stop. So that's as far as I got. Yeah, so I have to this is a legitimate question. Do you guys know anyone? Do you have a friend, a colleague, an acquaintance, someone you met as your bus driver? Do you know anyone who likes the movie Avatar?
I do.
I met this homeless person, one who was shitting, who was like smearing shit on the wall.
For 7 years.
Oh my god, you need to tell your girlfriend to get the fuck over it. It's
How is this the movie that had like the box office hit? What the fuck was up with that?
Yeah. How is this? I don't know. How does this hold the box office record over a Star Wars? And that's not me being a Star Wars fan. That's just Star Wars. Star Wars is
the movie.
I just don't know. Anyway, no, it's got a game.
Which looks like the movie, and that's about all that can be said about
In
it.
fairness, I'll give it one compliment. The engine did look good in it. That's all I'll say. It looked good. Aesthetically, it looks like the movie. Everything else.
If you wanna,
I just want to know if there's a gameplay mechanic where you can like take your tail and plug it into things like a
Oh my god,
Yes,
but
that's
there will be.
hybrid USB.
it's probably gonna be
It will be hold down square to impregnate this
Yeah.
rhino.
Oh god!
It's always gonna be like, ooh, do you wanna?
And it's all. And I've actually only just learned today that it's all in first person.
Do you wanna
So
sensually
you
plug your?
impregnate the rhino in first person.
First person, you're gonna get your tail, and you're just gonna see the wiggly bits just in.
You just like sensually penetrate everything with your tail.
But you are.
That's how
Do you
this
not
game
remember
is.
in the movie when they're like they impregnate stuff? And I don't like that music.
Could you imagine if in one of those
But when
future
they
films they
impregnate
actually show?
stuff- There are every. Oh my god, it went weird. But when they impregnate stuff.
James Cameron made a pregnancy movie. Jesus.
In fairness, oh no, that wasn't him. That was Ridley Scott. I was like, he made
Hey,
Alien, but
stop.
he did it. No, but he did. No, James Cameron made the second Alien movie. That's where I got it from. But when they intertwine, is that better? Is that better?
When they form a soul bond.
Soul
the
bondage.
creatures, they pull a face. They're like, "Wah, why are you inside me?" Like if you go back and rewatch the movie, all the animals make that face. They go, "Wah, what the fuck?" Why are you
hole.
in
I mean,
me?
if
Wrong
suddenly
hole.
something enters you, you probably make the same face.
Yeah.
Especially if it's James Cameron's dick.
Is that? I think Avatar is just like a secret movie that's just all about penetration. It's a movie about consent.
I think I'm gonna. If I figured it out. If I was a billionaire, I would buy the rights to the Smurfs, and I would make a Smurfs movie where the Smurfs just fucking impregnate anything they've come across. It's like, oh, a
Just
bird!
constantly close up of their face going, "Wah,
I mean, if you think about
Papa
consent, the
Smurf,
whole
why?"
wiggly- There's like wiggly bits on both ends, right? And it comes together.
Yeah.
So can like one wiggly bit refuse and be like, no,
They
I'm not
even
feeling it today, I
impregnate
have
a
headache.
tree.
Wait.
I hate that I owe the
Are we
Blu-ray
just
of this
are we just now
and I-
are we just now clicking on the irony that Ubisoft is making a game where you
Oh no.
put your thing into another thing without
Surprise
asking for
impregnation.
permission
Oh
to
my
put your
God.
thing into a thing?
I
What?
wonder if anyone else on the internet has made that connection. It's like, are we the first to make that connection?
Connection, get it? Like,
Oh god. Anyway, Ubisoft,
Like they-
how many blue people out of
how many wiggly bits?
how many wiggly bits out of James Cameron's hard on for his fake universe that no one cares about?
These scouts are getting weird.
We're only at conference 2. We need to start spinning out. There's a couple of conferences.
I mean,
I'll give it like
if you didn't have that,
the second act of Avatar.
What was the second?
Kind
I
of
don't
shit.
even remember.
was it the bit after he falls asleep?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh god. Oh my god. Bram?
I give it like let's give it like 6 blue Pocahontases out of 10 blue Pocahontases.
Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Mostly blue.
I can't breathe.
So can the guys in Avatar, because their air is somehow toxic.
I'd give it like 4 James Cameron's going down in submarines looking at Titanic out of blue people impregnating rhinos.
I
Did
guess.
somebody write these down? Can we put that on the box blurb?
Someone's like casually listening to this and they're just like, I fully blanked out for a minute and I
I-
don't know the connection.
No, I just imagine like one day I'll pick up Avatar the game and like, I don't know, like some shop, and I'll turn it around. On the back of it will be your quote saying this game was like impregnating a rhino.
Yeah, it's gonna say PG-18 or whatever it says in different countries, and in the bracket next to me, sex, consent,
Animals.
rhino fucking.
Warning: this game contains bestiality.
Anyway,
Is it still bestiality if it's, alien life?
that's a good
Yes.
question. I guess so, yeah. Because the Na'vi are a humoid. A humoid?
Humanoid.
Yeah.
That's the one, humanoid. I can't remember the name.
Are you moist?
Connor said it was an average presentation. He liked the look of Rainbow Six Extraction, but he was fearful that the gameplay is going to be rather generic and not enjoyable. He likes the look of Riders Republic, but it could only be fun with friends. Far Cry 6 had been shown at this point twice, with a third time with the previous gameplay released, so he was just kind of like, it's starting to drag. And the new Avatar game could be good, but they have to be careful with how they use the design and the gameplay, as it's a game that would feel very much like the similar kind of shit as other games, and I'm hopeful that Ubisoft's capability with it comes when it comes to this one, but I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Impregnation button.
Anyway, that was Ubisoft. The sex vendors have been and gone. Thank God. Anyway, here's Weird's favorite conference.
Yes, this made my thighs moist.
I'm gonna let you. You know what? You can take the reins on this one.
My
Oh my God!
personal highlight
Wait a
of
second.
every
Wait a
E3.
second.
What?
I got breaking news.
Ah,
Oh my God! With Avatar, there's like you can get like a peripheral with it for your controller. It's like a flashlight that plugs into your controller. And if-
Oh God! I thought you were being 100% honest.
I knew
What?
immediately where that was going. Like, oh yeah, touch these wiggly bits to your PlayStation 5 port.
like, and you put your dick into
Oh my
it.
God,
That's
they might do though. Like you have to finger your controller. Like just find the vibration point.
just like a ring that you put at the bottom of your controller, and you put like your finger.
Like, hey, we have motion and like what is that thing called in the DualSense controller?
The haptic triggers.
Haptic feedback. Here's your haptic feedback prostate exam.
Oh my
Well,
God.
then the game
I'll tell you what,
controls
people with hentai. People with hentai.
Oh no!
You can't see this, ladies and gentlemen, but I
feel like
am
we've made
I am
enough
fingering
tentacle
myself.
references now.
Wait,
Oh
that's,
god, I realized
Yeah.
we'll have another tentacle joke with Square Enix. Anyway, Devolver.
I know. We might have to like really skim through some of
Yes,
these.
let's pick up the pace. Devolver Digital, as usual, my personal comedy highlight of E3.
Excuse me.
Because they don't give a shit.
What did they have there? They had
Nina Stravas.
Premium purchase.
There we go.
Pre-cum. No, not premium
Perry.
purchase. Premium purchase.
They had
Premium purchase.
They had Nina Stravas. Nina Stravas can, punch me in the face and I'll say thank you.
Oh, wow.
That came out wrong.
That was really graphic.
But yeah, Devolver Digital, as usual, takes out the piss out of all the other stuff, which this time they did with a premium purchase shop. Which they sold everything from the suit the presenter was wearing, $500.
Is that gone?
That was pretty much gone immediately. As well as a VHS tape of the conference, $1,000, also immediately gone. And also they showed some indie games that looked kind of cool, like Track to Yomi, which was just
I'm
samurai
going to be
chop
100% honest.
Yeah.
I think they need to calm down with the conferences because honestly, I don't remember any of the games.
I remember two.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Oh, there was one that looked like Ghost of Tsushima.
Track
Yeah,
to
that
Yomi.
was Strike to Yomi. Yeah.
That's the one.
No, that's the only one I remember. Oh no, what was the one? The one that looked like Hands of Fate. But
Inscription, that's the other one I remember. Okay,
Yeah.
and Death's Door, which was also... There was a game called Wizard with a Gun. I think that kind of describes it.
I mean, it's
Shadow Warrior 3. I'm not sure if anybody played the first two.
I really don't remember it.
Wait.
I remember Dina was there. The person who did the face scan of Dina from The Last of Us Part 2
Wait.
was there.
Wizard with a gun. Doesn't that just sound like a sex change version of Bayonetta? Because she's a witch with a gun. I mean,
Do you think the wiggly bits of Avatar could interface with Bayonetta's hair?
God no.
Bayonetta's hair. What?
Like, it's both wiggly and could, like, intertwine, as Griff put it. Anyway,
Intertwined.
Devolver Digital, I give it 100 Nina Stravers out of 10.
Wow,
Damn.
it's pretty high.
That's high praise.
Not for the games, just for the shit show.
How many? I mean, it was a giggle. It was a laugh. I'd give it nine premium purchases out of 10. 10 premium purchases. I couldn't think of another joke.
One thing I'm worried about, next year we'll probably have to pay just to watch the conference.
I think that's true. I would genuinely believe that.
The I think I would score it one VHS tape out of one VHS tape because there was only one. And the thing is,
And it's got a tag
we
on
have
it,
to
so
be.
the dude can never take the VHS and just copy it. It's got a tag on it. Like they can never.
Yeah, it's
copy the VHS,
it's not
ever.
unfuckwittable. That was what it was.
Yeah.
The unfuckwittable VHS tape.
That is the precise wording. Hold on, I'll find the
Yeah.
description.
Non-fuckable.
It might be sold out.
Yeah,
but
it was
I will still look at the
non-fuckwitable or something.
description.
But yeah, to be fair, like the presentation's always the best out of Devolver. But like Trek to Yomi looked interesting, because it looked almost like a Ghost of Tsushima and like the darker toned games as well, like high contrast looks of like inside and stuff, type of games.
I am sorry, Bram, if I may interrupt you for just a moment, because I've just got the description of the VHS tape up. And there is a lovely thing at the end, but this is what the description reads. The lone physical copy of the 2021 Devolver Max Pass Plus presentation, gently recorded on a VHS tape with the tab violently torn out of its so your little brother or sister can't record over it. Before this, it was used to record pornography. But it did cost $1,000, and it does say at the end, all proceeds of the sale go to a foundation that helps coding for kids all around the world. So all the money went straight to charity.
Cool.
So that was a good thing. But the
another thing
before this, it was used to record pornography. Mwah!
Before we move on, like with intrigue in like what the games were showing, I think Inscription is also one of the strongest contenders of like games that had some intrigue going through them. Like you don't know what to expect 100%, and I think it could be like that could be what they want as like advertisement for the game. I feel like it's a game that could have like twists and turns in them that you need to experience.
It looked like playing solitaire with Satan, and I'm down for that.
I mean, honestly, that game did look good.
Mm-hmm. So
Did
they
have
had.
a release date?
I think we'd have to check that later.
You're the one who's confident.
I'm on it. Go on, Bar.
Yeah.
Should we talk
think
about
we can.
Gearbox?
I mean, we already talked. Actually, we already said what Gearbox did, right? They talked about the movie, and there was just basically Randy Pitchford liking the sound of his own voice and pretending to interview people, but actually just using that as an excuse to make himself look like, hey, I'm here with these people that are known for this shit. And look, it's not just these people. I'm also here. Don't you want to see me? Don't you want to hear me? I want to hear myself. I masturbate to audio of my own voice.
Oh, no, and they announced that they were working on Homeworld 3 times. Do you remember that? They were like, we're working on Homeworld 3. It kept showing these really small clips of people being like, yeah, Homeworld 3, the Homeworld, it's quite a game.
You know what that actually reminds me of? It's like it sounds like somebody. It's like that Starfield thing. No, I'm talking Starfield because I can see that at the corner of my eye. But like the Homeworld thing, right?
Right.
What I was thinking about is like the way they presented that. It almost looked like somebody vying for attention. It was almost like somebody being cocked that isn't a cock, and I was like, "Can I get some?" And they're like, "Maybe later, maybe later." And just continue it like
maybe mom loves you.
Fucking on camera. I don't know. Pornography stuff.
This took a way to.
Also, last thing before we completely go away from what we were talking about with Devolver. Do you think there is just like as a gag? Do you think there could still be like a bit of like porn on the fucking VHS?
I hope that you guys remember like Fight Club, right? Like there's this one frame of pornography in it.
Yeah, like the seconds of like dick.
Yeah, because in fairness, it probably does have an age rating on it because they did say fuck and like it's really gory. Yeah. Oh my god, Bram. But I bet it's not like full on an angle of penetration. It's probably just like two people ripping each other's clothes off.
Or it's like a fake thing that they recorded themselves, like.
Or it's just like when they're panning down, like someone's giving someone else a blowjob, and they're panning down, and it's just before you see something.
Yeah, that could
be. Then
Nina
Stravers comes in.
She's like, "Whoa, sorry, didn't know that was there. Clearly didn't wipe the tape properly."
I can see it in front of my eyes right now.
And that's probably why it's non-fuckable. That's probably why it's non-fuckable with as well, because it probably does have something like that on there.
Fuckable for Jesus. I think you just hit the reset button in my brain with that sentence.
Anyway,
now we have
best conference.
Now we have the next one is going to be a conference and one fifth or something like that, because it was Xbox with their own platform. They have their own platform, so I mean, why do you want an Xbox? Or, well, in this case, why would you want a PC or Xbox? Because we know that Xbox games are
if you own a PC,
also PC games.
You'll say for sure that you're going to be getting your hands on every single one of these games on here.
So, there's a lot of stuff here, but like,
I want to
there's
hear
also
what
stuff
Weird's
that's not
favorite
that
was.
interesting.
I don't know why. I'm just intrigued to hear Weird's highlight of the conference.
Of the Xbox conference.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I know.
this is 12 minutes definitely, but that
Wow,
barely
I
counts
forgot that
because-
was there.
Wow.
Because it's highlight. Because next to it is two bold highlighted things. So I was like, I thought, oh, I don't see anything that Weird wants in there, so I want to know what he's into.
But that kind of doesn't count, right? Because 12 minutes, we've had plenty of footage already. There was nothing new in particular.
I think was that
Yeah.
the only thing that was repeated.
I think
We had 1, 2, 3.
Flight Simulator did get an
Yeah,
update,
yeah,
so that was
3,
kind
I
of
just-
a repeat.
I think Weird is also kind of lying, because I think that Shredders was actually his favorite game.
What was Shredders?
The fucking
Oh, is that the fucking
snowboarding game? Yeah.
Oh my
Oh, is that
god!
the snowboarding? You know what's weird? You know what's really strange? Every like E3 roundup that I've watched, everyone forgets that was in the conference. Absolutely
obviously.
everyone.
It's just like
I wonder
it's,
why.
it's like, hey, they made Steep at Ubisoft. Let's make a shit version of that. Also, isn't that the game where you like snowboard and then you have to beat up the Ninja Turtles afterwards?
Jesus Christ!
What?
Shredder, the name. Also, Far Cry 6 was
Horrible
repeated.
joke.
Personally,
Yeah, true.
my favorite highlight, probably Somerville. That looked pretty intriguing. But again,
Yes.
it's those small indie games, the big ones that they were like, "Hey, here's Sea of Thieves, here's Battlefield, here's
Yeah, but you know that's
Redfall."
Xbox.
It's like, yeah, but
You know-
Xbox had some pretty good AAA
Yes.
announcements over the last year, and this is what got me disappointed with this year, because
But-
this was kind of a.
Well, you know why it was though, because they've now combined two conferences together.
Yeah,
So Xbox
exactly.
haven't got the room to be like, the indies. Like they just don't have that room anymore because they got to shove Bethesda in there.
See, that's the thing, right? The conference first started with Todd Howard, so I immediately, went back into my unwanted mediation. But then they actually started talking about games. They showed trailers, they showed gameplay. And then Bethesda came on stage, and you could just feel the flow
Just halt.
like ramming itself into a wall at high speed on a highway.
Couldn't agree more.
I mean,
It immediately screeched to a halt, and that was so disappointing. And I just wanted Bethesda to go bankrupt at this point.
like every time you see, every time I see
I
Todd
think they
Howard.
probably were. That's why Microsoft bought them.
See, but the thing is, every time I see Todd Howard appear, I just feel like an ostrich, and like the hole in the floor is actually my ass. I just want to shove my head up my own ass. So I don't have to
Wait,
see it.
sorry, what? Bram, I need to ask you a serious biological question now. What do you think an ostrich is?
I mean, it's like I said, it sticks its head in the ground, you know.
Yes, but do you know what? Okay, let's rewind. Do you have short-term memory loss? Do you know what you just said?
Yes, like I said,
that relates to Todd Howard.
I want to put my head like the ostrich puts it in the ground. I said I want to put it up my own ass instead, so I don't have to hear or see Todd
okay.
Howard.
See, an ostrich has a long enough neck to actually accomplish that, I think.
Yeah,
Does it
see,
though?
that's
The one I tried it on did.
what is the what is the
Cycle back to that.
ass,
Put a pin in
Ass-
that and come back to it later.
ass to neck diameter?
Bram, what was your highlight?
For
Fucking ostrich.
actually, I think I have to give the highlight to actual surprise being the actual feeling of surprise that haven't had throughout this entire fucking list of conferences, with the fact that they announced the Outer Worlds 2, because that came out of nowhere.
And that's my personal highlight too. But I think it's one of those things where they've announced it way too early.
Yeah, that's probably like very far
Like,
out.
I genuinely... Yeah, oh, God. Well, the thing is, I don't think I can be disheartened, because if I'm going to be
That's
100%
a cat with
honest,
lasagna, right?
I'm kind of excited for Starfield only because it's space, and it's an RPG, and that's where my that's where I lay to rest. That's where I
It's
really...
his boo.
It is my boo.
Do you play as
Sci-fi
John or
and-
Starfield?
But the thing is, Starfield was a CGI trailer, so I have still got no strong opinions on it besides the premise.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see that it's got a release date of next year. That was shocking, but I'm trying to see. I didn't like that they like Contraband, which is Avalanche Studios' next game that, thank God, isn't another Just Cause game. But they were like, oh yeah, here's an announcement. But again, they did that a lot this conference, where they went, game, announcement, but you don't know anything. Game,
Here's the
announcement,
title.
but you don't know anything. It was a lot of that. Like, even Plague Tale Requiem, just an announcement. No gameplay, no nothing. It was just a trailer.
Griff, you may complain about that, but I wish Capcom had some of that.
Well,
Just like a trailer that shows
Capcom-
nothing, but still says that there's a game coming.
Capcom will forever, even when the universe genuinely ceases to exist, Capcom's conference of 2021 will be the worst thing in the world.
No, but they have you know what's funny? They made a lot of very good games recently, but all of their presentations and conferences have been bullshit.
Even
Like,
the
they
ones
the
where
worst
they just
shit.
talked about Resident Evil.
Yeah, even
like,
the Resident
on the
Evil
run of
ones.
Village.
Like, hey, here it is. You want to know some Resident Evil? Here's some Resident Evil shit. You want to know something? Here's some fucking Dead by Daylight bullshit or whatever. I don't know. Just put some shit in there, and it's like,
Hey,
okay, whatever. I don't give a shit.
We've gone away from
We've gone away from
Xbox, but I think that kind
from
of
Xbox.
Todd Howard, how could we?
that talks a point.
But there's just too
I mean-
much there.
There's a lot that I like here, but it's just a lot of this is being announced,
Yeah.
and
I
then
can
they slide off the
understand that.
stage. And it's like, no, wait, come back, don't do that.
There's a lot I like, but nothing that like hits it out of the park.
Which is weird because it's Xbox, and they've done really well the past couple of years. Even when like PlayStation were there, it was still like, shit, that was a pretty big, that was a big highlight.
Yeah. And I think maybe my expectations were just too high.
Yeah, I think maybe lower them. But I tell you what, with this being said, I hope that with the Xbox acquisition of Bethesda, I think Bethesda games might come out and work.
But let's hope that.
But
By the
that's
way,
a
was-
hope that there's a quality check before they like slap it
What
on
What I do want to say about that is like,
what weird.
what the fuck? He just looks like you'd like.
I was waiting for one. No, I actually was replaced also at. Oh wait, yeah, it is. Just found it. That one was pretty good. Now that I remember it, replaced, which looked exactly like the Last Night, which we last saw 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, we were all convinced. We were like, last night. Well, actually, we weren't all convinced, but we were all like, wait, last night? Last night? Is it last night?
Yeah, that
It
one.
wasn't last night.
Did it replace?
Oh my god. It didn't replace. It did not
Lol.
replace.
So, but the funny thing
I
is,
liked
like,
the look of Forza.
I mean, the look definitely. I mean,
And we don't only
It's-
say this because we know someone working on the game.
That is true. I actually know 3 people working on the game. Like, besides
Jesus.
the one in the disc. I know who you're talking about, but I actually know 2 other people. Not that I
So-
talk to them very often, but yeah. I don't.
There was a lot of-
I don't know what I was gonna say.
it's just there's so much, right? If you think about it, and there's a lot of things you could say very easily. Like, for example, I mean, there was more Back for Blood. I mean, they were back for more blood, I suppose.
Nice.
The thing that also, what was a funny thing that I saw, like, with comments and stuff, is like the whole Stalker 2 thing. It's the funny thing is,
forever.
everyone kept talking about like Metro and Tarkov and that shit. but like Stalker is like older than those games, so they were like saying, "Oh, this is a ripoff," and then you get to that weird situation where it's like, yeah, the original game was older, but like, haven't those other games like changed stuff from the original game, and hasn't this game then taken from those games that have taken from the original? Like, you get to there you get in that weird situation where it's like, the inspiration and then like stuff that builds on further of it, and if you then take that back, like, what is the original like? It's like with the whole Resident Evil 7, there was a lot of people who were talking about stuff like comparing Resident Evil 7 to those type of survival games like Outlast, where you don't necessarily get to fight and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with inspiration, right? There's always just this fine line between inspiration and rip-off. And honestly, the games do look similar, but I'm not quite sure how much you could actually do different there. So
yeah, it's also not sure how much like. What if that game actually comes out and it just plays like the original, like a game that's like was it? It's very old. It's like 2007, I think. The original. I don't know. It's ages
actually
ago.
painful for you to say that 2007 is really old, because didn't that just happen? Like,
no.
I tell you what was the biggest shit show for me was the fact that they showed that last game from Bethesda, which is that weird zombie game, not zombie, vampire, because it's an unknown IP. It was just a CGI trailer. We don't even know the fucking concept of it, and they spent 5 minutes showing us a trailer for something that has no emotional or preemptive connection to it, and that kind of pisses me off. Why?
It's not a good ending, but it is a game that like it was placed at the wrong place in the queue, I would suppose, like when they say the presentation. But I do think it looked interesting to me because it had like, again, well, we've had a few games that had like a bit of a Left 4 Dead vibe, and this was one of them. We can't like negate that fact. But how many times have you had the chance to kill vampires instead of zombies? That's also like, I mean, it's a little thing, but it's at least something. And there was also the jokes about controlling the little robot. So who knows? That maybe plays into
Also,
people like,
here's some funny context to the title, Redfall, right? Because the title was already previously known.
Oh, yeah.
Bethesda announced that Redfall is a game that they're working on, and so many Elder Scrolls fans latched onto that and assumed that Redfall was the next title of the next Elder Scrolls game, Elder Scrolls 6 Redfall. And there were theories and speculations and discussions all over the internet about what Elder Scrolls 6 Redfall could be. And then they put it out as a fucking vampire shooter.
That is hilarious, though. That kind of makes me feel better about that. Even.
I would have put, honest to God, this is what I would have done. I would have swapped Starfield and Redfall. I would have just swapped their positions. I would have put Redfall first, be like, oh, look, Bethesda's making a new game for us. And then Starfield is the one that everyone wanted to see anyway, so you just put it at the end, because then, like, the anticipated, the wait. I wouldn't say worth it, but they gave us a release date, so...
I would have just swapped Redfall and Outer Worlds. I think Outer Worlds was actually more...
I was also...
The big surprise.
That was my first thought, maybe swap Outer Worlds and Redfall, but anyway, Redfall was the last. I don't get how they were like, that should be the last thing. That's it. That's the one that we should close out. Like, no, it's. I mean, we don't know it. It's pointless.
Bethesda dictating.
That's like saying that us three are making a game. You don't know us three. We're not important.
Yeah,
Sorry, that's really I take that back. We're not important. I mean, we are important. Oh shit.
Wait, what?
But it's true. It's like
it
us
three
randomly coming out. But it's like us three randomly coming out and being like, yeah, it's us. Like, get excited.
Get our game. Buy our game.
We just turn around and we go, we're going to run Microsoft now, Xbox now. And it's like, no one cares. We don't.
I mean, to be fair, if us three declare right now that we are officially now own Xbox, that's going to be very fun to explain to their lawyers.
I also can't wait for what games we'd make.
Oh,
God.
I'm gonna need to get to church to explain that.
I would just buy Naughty Dog and then make my Last of Us Part 3.
Alright, calm down there, Jesus.
That's my dream. Anyway, how many weird zombie external stomach arms would you give it out of 10?
Wait, what? External
Exactly.
zombie.
That was at the end of
arms?
Redfall trailer. You don't even remember that because that trailer was fucking pointless.
Oh, now I remember.
No, you don't.
Well, wait. I just realized that you also didn't talk about Psychonauts 2. That was there.
Good, right? That's like.
I mean,
shit,
that's
dropped
exactly.
something.
Oh, actually, we should give Xbox this little bit of a compliment. But almost every game was coming to Game Pass, and a big chunk of these were just coming straight day one Game Pass, including Outer Worlds 2, Psychonauts 2, Slimer, Plague Tale, Starfield.
Slime Rancher? Do you mean Slime Rancher?
That's the one. I think, yeah, that's the one.
Slimer.
That's the one.
Yeah, learn something out of that, PlayStation, please.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, PlayStation, but the best price in gaming still belongs to Xbox. Flat out. I remember a couple of months ago they were like, "We're thinking of a competitor for Game Pass." I'm like, I don't think you can at this point. Game Pass is like
They
Netflix.
should.
It's
They
got
absolutely
so much
should.
shit on there. It is. I mean, and also they announced that if you didn't know by now, for the next 3 months, Xbox Ultimate is £1 for 3 months.
I mean,
If you haven't got it yet, go get it.
with how cheap it is, I wouldn't really complain all that much about like the ownership issue that you have with like the fact that these games are through a pass, and it's not like you basically own them in the same way that you would own a game that you just buy. So
I just want to let you know, I just went onto the Game Pass app. I can pre-install Psychonauts 2 now.
Damn.
And it's 62 days away.
By the way, another thing that I wanted to touch on is like with the fact that we like I know that Griff played it and we played it together. Like we played Gang Beasts at one point, so Party Animals could be fun as well. Just as like
You know,
we
what?
want to do
Party
some silly
Animals was
shit.
a bit of a highlight as well. I thought that was really cool as well.
The one thing that
was
I have a
really
bit of a
fast.
question about is like I really feel like Hades is one of those games that plays really fun on a Switch because you can just take it with you. And I know that like Metal was playing it on the computer and he was playing it on a big screen, but to me it feels more like a game that you could like, because if you die, like it restarts and that type of shit, you could basically play it like on the go more. It feels like it fits that more. So I don't know if I would get this game. I don't know if I would get it for anything else than a Switch. So I mean, it supports because
I was
it's
thinking about that. If I buy Hades, I'll play definitely like through a PC streaming service on my phone because it's way more fitting to that. And unfortunately, it's not on any portable console at the moment.
Yeah.
Bit of a missed opportunity. Oh well.
Anyway, what would you guys rate Xbox? Because now I'm thinking we should try and speed up. We've been going so long.
it's
I'm gonna
definitely
give it as many points out of 10 as there were indie games, and I will have to count.
oops, that's not much.
2.
Oh
I
shit!
think that's 2.
Oh no!
Oh no, 3. Is Party Animals an indie?
You know what?
Yeah,
You give your
probably.
ratings, I'll count.
1, 2.
5.
I'm still getting 3.
I'm gonna 4. Whatever.
My rating
give it a
is
6 out of 10 or something.
my rating
Wow, that's
is
pretty high.
my rating is the measurable distance between the difference in quality between the Diablo 2 HD cutscenes and the gameplay. It's a pretty high score, isn't it?
That was a great high score. That was
Oh no!
great.
So,
I'd give it a...
Were there Diablo fans that were like, "Yeah, this looks good, and I want this"?
I'll go to Reddit.
Probably.
Excuse me, sorry. Were the Diablo fans?
Are they still alive? Hold on,
Anyway,
I'm check.
yeah.
I'm check. I'd give it a 5, like straight down the middle. It was a 50-50 conference. I was bored,
Yeah.
and then I wasn't
Yeah, it was
bored.
pretty.
And then I was
it
bored
was-
again, and then I was really bored, and then I wasn't bored.
Take
and then,
out the
you know.
Bethesda part, and you could improve.
Wait,
It's like
I think I found it.
separating the two bad guys in the class.
Griff, I think I found it,
What have you found?
but I don't know I don't think Connor wrote it down the same way. I think it was the Ayuden Chronicle game. I think that was the fucking game that was announced, and the sequel was announced for that. I think that was it. I think it was at Xbox, wasn't it?
Oh yes.
There were multiple, yeah.
I think that was it.
I'm sorry, I even forgot to read Connor's thing out. Like the look of the Sea of Thieves expansion. Shocking. Oh, yes. Battlefield 2042 actually looks quite good. There was a huge chunk of people when we were watching it all together that were like, ooh, I'd actually quite enjoy to play that. But that's because they've gone for the batshit craziness that is the multiplayer of that game. 12 minutes looks like it would be a really interesting game. I do look forward to playing it. Psychonauts 2 looks like an acid trip on steroids after it snorted cocaine, and I'm fully here for it. Connor's words exactly. Halo Infinite, I could not give a shit. A Plague Tale Requiem. I love the first game, and I actually have been wanting. I've actually been wanting to play a game in the same world. I felt like it had so many more stories to tell. It's definitely a game I'll be playing either day one or within the first couple of weeks of release. Slime Rancher 2, fully loved the first game, quite enjoyable, can't wait to play the second one. Continuing with the pleasant surprise of sequels, Outworlds 2. The first game isn't something I've played, but it's been something I've been desperately wanting to try, and now with the second game announced, it's given me more motivation to play it. Liked the look of Forza Horizon 5, but would only be fun with friends. And Redfall, it looks like it has a fun concept, but I need to see proper gameplay and learn a bit more about the story before fully being into it. But my interest has definitely been titillated by it.
You know, Connor did a very good job because all of these things basically wrap up what we said to some degree as well.
I know, he's not even here and he's basically saying the same things that we are.
Exactly.
And we haven't read his document. These all just massively coincide.
By the way, Griff, I recently watched a movie that I think you'll enjoy.
About what?
I watched a movie that I think you would actually enjoy. It's called Requiem for a Dream.
That's hilarious because I have watched it because it's a reference in Parks and Rec.
God damn it.
So fuck you.
I think we had to watch that like twice in school because of drugs and stuff. We're like, yeah, let's do some drug education through that movie.
Next one.
All
Square of the Enix. Wow.
Yes.
This was
that exists.
half a conference of a game, half a conference of, yeah, I think we make other games.
Yeah.
Right, so...
And 80s music is always music to my ears.
So everyone... my highlight was Guardians, straight up.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But, well, it's the only fucking thing there. But I didn't mind that they took so long to show shit. Everyone was getting really antsy about that, and I was actually quite enjoying seeing a good chunk of gameplay. But that's just me.
Yep. I did enjoy that too. I know a lot of people were like, okay, this is dragging on now. They did show a lot, but in my opinion, it was also varied. There was cutscenes, there was a bit of story, there was a bit of dialogue choices,
there was
combat, exactly. So I didn't mind that too much. Perhaps it was a bit too long, but it wasn't like it wasn't filler.
Yeah, it didn't feel like filler. I felt like I was just getting a taste of the game. A game that we didn't even know existed 15 minutes beforehand.
What I wanted to ask is, do you think they wanted to be really transparent with this game? Because I feel like the original Marvel, like the other Marvel game, was actually not transparent enough, and people didn't expect the microtransaction shit show that actually came out.
They're still doing the thing where they look like the Uncanny Valley version of the Guardians, like.
Well, they are a bit more closely based on the comics this time.
Yes, no, I agree, but I still think there is a bit of like the outfits. Well, I guess no, that's a stupid thing to say because the movie tries to look like the comic.
Didn't they also make it kind of clear that the face for Star-Lord was actually like modeled somewhat after Troy Baker?
Is that who's voicing Star-Lord?
I don't know, but like they did something, but I don't know if that was an actual joke or if that was like the actual thing.
I think that was a joke from.
It could have been a joke that it could be a joke that Troy Baker made himself or something.
Yeah, but to put it together, Guardians of the Galaxy, they did show a lot, and it was just short of of putting a title card that says, "Okay, we try not to fuck it up this time."
No,
because obviously they're...
Sorry, the guy called Scott Porter is playing Star-Lord. I will look up if you know him from anything. I don't recognize him from... He's an actor. He's not a voice actor. He actually like...
Oh.
But the thing is, we had Guardians of the Galaxy, and then it kind of went downhill, didn't it?
Oof.
Because then we got re-releases of the first 6 Final Fantasy games.
Which are coming to mobile?
They're like, alright.
That was a confusing thing. I don't know what the fuck to make of that.
Then we had Legend of Mana. I don't even know
Like,
what that
Same
is.
thing.
Then an
I
update
feel like
to that
that's-
really shitty game that no one likes.
I mean, now you can...
Wakanda.
now you can play as Black Panther, I suppose. That's, I guess, with the
But that's the
Wakanda
thing. I
storyline
remember
or something.
I said right out the gate, I was like, that would just make a really interesting solo game. Black Panther, the video game, like Guardians. Well, I don't know why they didn't do that. In terms of why didn't they just make
Because they needed
cinematic
to make a
universe of the video
microtransaction
games?
filled shithole.
Yeah, I know.
I was about to say, why didn't they just make a good Avengers game?
Yeah. Well, in fairness, Guardians, we don't know if it's a good game. I mean, the combat looked fine, but
You know, I think they were asked to make something resembling a pachinko machine as close as possible without making an actual pachinko machine. I think that's what actually happened here. Like, how do you do this?
Oh, God. This is a pachinko machine, but the bolts, they are made of vibranium.
The fuck?
then Hitman Sniper, a mobile game, got announced. Then
Then another one.
Near Reincarnation. Then Babylon's Fall, a game
Yeah.
that they were like, wait, it's only gonna be on the next gen. Got announced that. Oh no, that's not that name. That was Godfall. Was that Godfall?
That was Godfall, and that was God-awful.
What was
Yeah,
Godfall
Babylon's
called?
Fall is...
No,
Babylon's
that
Fall
was
is the
Capcom,
one
wasn't it?
that's...
It's Godfall Capcom.
Yeah. Yeah, but...
God, I can't remember.
No,
But
I don't think so.
I get why you get confused about that.
I think Babylon's Fall is the one that looks like a
That's
mix
Gearbox.
between like Nier and what was it, Souls-like or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
Was
it's
near
it
and something
didn't
else.
look interesting. Which is surprising because it's Platinum Games. I would have expected a lot more.
You
from
were
them.
kind of not excited, but you were tantalizingly interested in it. I remember when it first got announced.
Yeah,
I think we
Which
may
was
need
also
actual
3 years
snippets.
that was 2018.
I think a game of that, like it's because the controls, like it looked like it was fairly similar. What they were playing to Nier, like the way it played, but Nier is interesting because of its story. So that game, if it plays like that, the only thing that they could like hook people in with is if they give us snippets of stories that don't give too much away, but that do hook people in. But does this game have an
thing
interesting
is,
story? That's what's probably gonna sell it.
Platinum Games is pretty good at like making either style or story, right? Like you mentioned, the story of Nier Automata and also Nier itself is pretty good. And then they have games that are pretty stylish, like let's say Metal Gear Rising or Vanquish. And I'm seeing like the worst of both worlds in this one. So
Maybe it's
you can do better.
maybe
Platinum.
it's left. Maybe this game is made with like some leftover assets from different games.
Hey, these are the leftovers from yesterday's dinner.
I mean, maybe somebody in there, like, who's like closer to the shareholder, was like, "Oh, we need a game, just like this. Just toss some assets together. Just fuck me."
Yeah,
something."
probably. It's true.
See what sticks.
Literally.
But it could still be a good
And
game.
then
Like, we
Weird's-
have to see more, I suppose.
Yes.
Weird's highlight came along.
Not my habit.
Well, sorry. Your most
boo.
anticipated.
Yeah, Life is Strange Remastered and Life is Strange 2 Colors. We've already seen plenty of stuff about it. We did see a bit more of Life is Strange Remastered, which looks okay, but it makes me wonder why this game is being remastered in the first place.
I
because
know.
the
When we all
difference is not
sat
that
there, we were
big.
like, "Oh, they've just added tears into the game. Like there were
Yeah,
tears
tears
in the
and
old
eyeliner.
game." Yeah. Yeah. When they
I
say
mean, it does look
remastered-
good, but was it necessary? I mean, Life is Strange is one of my all-time favorite franchises, and I'll definitely still play it just to see if the comparison maybe sticks a bit more if you play it yourself. Because Life is Strange is a very stylized game. like with all the golden hour thematic. But I'm not sure if it was necessary.
The thing
True
is,
Colours on the other-
if I walked into a room and someone was playing, if no one had told me if it was the remastered or original version of Life is Strange, I would have just been like, oh, it's Life is Strange? Cool. I would just sit there and watch it. I wouldn't even care if it was the remastered or the original. I genuinely would not.
Yeah.
Because they just don't look any I mean, it's fine. I get it. It's a cash grab. They just want to let in more. They want to bring in more people before they make the next Life is Strange. But
Which isn't it the remastered actually releasing after True Colors? Never mind.
checking that timeline.
The thing is, I still have hope that it might look a lot better when you don't focus on the characters. Because what they did here is they showed one-to-one comparisons of hey, this is what Max looked like in the original, this is what Max looked like in the remaster. But Life is Strange also is a lot about the environments that it takes place in, so maybe those look better, and they didn't really show that.
Yeah.
Still hoping for that. But hey.
I think everyone discovered eyeshadow in between the fucking original game and
they did.
remaster. Eyeshadow, that's a thing.
They were suddenly very sleep deprived. And yeah, the other one, True Colors, of course we already knew about that. We already know the gameplay concepts about the whole empathy this time, which I think is still a very interesting concept. And we didn't see too much terrible news. So
Weird, you're right. True Colors comes out on the 10th of September and the remaster comes out on the 30th.
Well.
Wow.
Which, I mean, you could be... Then they are just pandering to the Life is Strange fans themselves, right? Hey, you played True Colors now, which is coming out as one game this time. That is a season. No, we play the other ones.
I never watched... Because I was watching you play 2. I never finished it because I don't think 2 had enough to grip me. I actually, and this is a bit of a controversial thing, but my favorite Life is Strange is actually Before the Storm.
I can somewhat agree with that.
I don't know why. Before the Storm is just more interesting, but anyway.
Which is good, right? Because True Colors is made by Deck 9, which also made Before the Storm. So this is not...
Then
don't
it'll be the best one. No, it won't. But,
hold your horses.
But it's weird that, even though I haven't watched all of 2, I know it's only loosely connected to 1 in the first episode, and then that's it.
Later on, there are always references, but they are distinct entities in
But that's what I mean. They talk about each other. They're like cousins, but they never met.
Yeah, there was a joke coming up when Life is Strange 2 was first released that it would be you finish the game and there's an after credit scene, the main character from Life is Strange 2 walks into a dark room, turns on the light, and there's Max sitting on a couch be Mr. Diaz, I'm putting together a team. Also, I'm Nick Fury.
Well, yeah.
Which would have been funny, but that's not what we're going with. And I don't think that's what they will be going with the new game as well. There are characters, at least one character in the game that was in Life is Strange Before the Storm, but that's it. And I don't think that connection is actually needed as long as they are a little bit stylistically and thematically connected.
I mean, this is the one thing where I can't really.
And now I'll
much.
shut up about Life is Strange.
I haven't played any of the games, so I can't say anything.
And then they announced the official prequel to Final Fantasy. Was it Final Fantasy?
What?
No. What's Stranger in Paradise?
It was Final Fantasy. But
it was Final Fantasy. Yeah.
Isn't it a prequel?
Is it
Final Fantasy is already not connected by itself?
Is it the game where the guy in the black shirt kept saying, "I'm gonna kill chaos"?
Kept saying,
"This is where chaos
I look like
is.
Dante.
I'm gonna stab chaos.
Chaos, and chaos is my enemy.
Are you
Chaos
chaos?
is under my fridge.
I'm going to kill you.
But
I'm going to murderize you,
What you
chaos."
misunderstood here is Square Enix usually does the following thing: they write the word Final Fantasy on a board, and then they take a bunch of fridge magnets with words on it and throw it on the title.
Right.
And whatever sticks, something like Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins, then those 4 stickers just stuck to it, and they
Right.
that.
Weird.
Okay.
I just
see.
clicked on something.
How else would you get
It's
Final
a bit
Fantasy?
it's a bit of a Fast and Furious situation where the third film is actually before the rest of them, but also it doesn't count because nothing happens in it.
But-
yeah, okay, I'm with you.
Guys, I clicked on
Griff,
something.
There's a title called Final Fantasy Dissidia 012 Duodecim.
I clicked on something
have a
very
loser.
bad. Something that could be kind of hilarious.
Did you click on that slice of pornography? That
No,
was
no,
from
no,
the
no, no,
VHS.
no. I clicked on something Final Fantasy related. So think back to Kingdom Hearts. What is it like? It's all about like friendship and blah blah. blah. They talk about this fucking shit the
Disney,
entire time.
the mouse,
So
the
the fucking
mouse.
the fucking
Don't forget to spend the
5-year-old,
spell check.
the fucking five
Oh!
the 5-year-old that wrote the story of Kingdom Hearts because that's how it feels to some degree, grew up and became edgy, and that's where we are now.
We're gonna kill chaos. This is where the layer of chaos. I'm gonna stop chaos. I'm gonna murderize chaos.
That's basically it.
Sora became Riku.
That's I think that's basically how this that's how this came to be.
But yeah, I mean, at least it looked like the gameplay looked a little bit fun. It looked a lot more fast-paced, which is something they've been going with Final Fantasy in general. 15, 7 Remake have all been more fast-paced than previous, more role turn-based entries. I don't know. It's there.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's I mean, it's something.
That's the vodka.
So what would we rate as Square Enix out of Star-Lord throwing Rocket Raccoon over a gap in the world and making him faceplant into the floor?
Well, let's say it that way, right? He did throw him, but he did land on the other side. So Square Enix didn't completely, proverbially throw Rocket Raccoon into a cliff.
But they also didn't. So they landed, but they didn't on their feet. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's
You
actually a
have
good
seen the
analogy.
Avengers update.
That sounds like a good analogy, though. They kind of jumped the cliff, but they landed on their face.
The thing is,
They didn't die.
half of their conference was Guardians of the Galaxy, so I'll give it a 5. But everything else, like everything,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had Guardians of the Galaxy, I had Life is Strange, I had in many ways also the fridge magnet Final Fantasy game also looked interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was okay to me. So I'll give it probably an 8 out of 10. Actually,
We'll just see how those things play as well. I mean, eventually we need to see some more about that. I think the Final Fantasy game could still be fun, but it just looks kind of generic the way it's
Agreed.
stupid.
Actually,
covers.
maybe more 7 out of 10.
And that main, and I want to say that the main character looks very boring for a JRPG type of during the game.
Yeah,
The guy that kept droning on about chaos for some reason.
chaos.
So I guess. So does anyone
He
have
dismantled
anything?
my Dutch magnets.
Wow, you got to get away from fridge magnets, you weirdo.
I'm just very hungry.
Oh, mood. Right, I have nothing to pluck out the future gaming show, but if you guys want to... Oh, wait, shit, what was Connor's thoughts on Square Enix?
Oh boy, we keep forgetting
Guardians of
about
the
Robot
Galaxy,
Connor.
all of the yes, if they do it right and don't fuck it up like Marvel's Avengers, I know this could end up falling flat on its face, but the choices are not actually...
Like Rocket.
As to the choices not mattering at all, not a whole lot shown during this presentation that I cared about. We also got to see more of Life is Strange True Colors, but I'm really not hooked on the idea of this game. I love the other Life is Strange entries, but for some reason this one just feels a little bit off. Anyway, that was Square Enix for Connor. Yeah, is there anything from future gaming? Because I'm ready to just skip to Nintendo and like.
I mean, I'm looking over
so
it.
we are just scrapping PC gaming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is there?
I mean, the only thing I remember from PC gaming was that there was a game called Raw Man.
What the fuck is Eldest Souls? Is that like a game with like geriatric Elder Scrolls or something? What the fuck, like Dark Souls or something?
I'm also seeing that.
It's like It's like Elder Scrolls and Dark Souls combined. Eldest Souls. What the fuck
I mean,
is
from
that?
future gaming, I really liked the conference because of the presentation of it. Happy Game looked cool and really fucked up. Minute of Ireland had a pretty interesting art style.
There's a game in Connor's list called Honey, I Joined a Cult, so I'm going to quickly Google that.
No. What else was there? Conway Disappearance of Dahlia View. I
Wait.
think might have interesting gameplay.
I just see another thing.
Immortality, we didn't know fuck all about it. But
Okay,
sure.
so
I just-
it's Prison
wait.
Architect, but you make a cult.
Okay.
That's genuinely what it is.
By the way, do I see that there's like we joked about the Iodine Chronicle, and then there's also like a sequel of that. Is this, it say Rune Factory 4 and Rune Factory 5? As in, like,
shit, it does.
what the fuck? The same situation again. A game and a sequel announced, like, randomly.
Sure, why not?
Can they announce a game and its sequel about a game that we care about? Like, couldn't they say, like, no, I can't come up with anything. Because I was gonna say, can't they say, like, God of War is gonna be a trilogy? But then, I mean, that's not there because, I mean, that would be for Sony. It's like to announce, I suppose. So, I mean, yeah, there wasn't anything that I could think of that could be a trilogy or something.
Yeah,
or...
there's nothing at Future Game Show. Like, I stayed up to watch Future Game Show because I heard Jurassic World 2 was going to be there, and then it was the shortest 30-second clip in the world, and immediately I was like, fuck this, I'm going to bed.
You know what?
One thing that looked cool.
I think I know why it was called Future Gaming, because you were, like, watching stuff, and after a while, you grew very tired, and it was the future. That's basically what happened.
I mean, I fell asleep. I actually know which ones I've missed. But the one I didn't miss, and it was just before Happy Game, was called Harold Halibut.
Yeah.
Which was interesting in the way that it was made, because this game was apparently made in stop motion animation, which I think for a video game is pretty intriguing.
Is that the Harold one?
See, that's what happened.
Harold Halibut.
See, that's why it's called Future Game Show. You fell into the dark void of sleep, and then you woke up in the future.
Yeah, I woke up and suddenly they were making stop motion video game.
Yes, I did. I saw this in a Nerdcube's Abridge. Yeah, look.
I mean, it kind of looked like...
it says initial release on Google of 2019.
It kind of looks like Wallace and Gromit by the ways of the Children of the Corn, but sure.
You know what it also reminded me of? On the Nintendo 64, you had like a fighter game, like a beat 'em up game called Clay Fighters, which was like a beat 'em up with like clay animation characters that fought each other.
So maybe they are pioneering this stuff.
Nah, it's been done before, obviously. But it's a different type of game.
Future Gaming Show. I remember it being good the last time it was there. I don't know if it was there last year, but I remember it being good the year that it was first there. But I mean, I fell asleep during this, so no.
So yeah,
I didn't feel. I mean, I fell asleep during this, but not because of the show, but because of what came before.
Connor says, "I regret staying up to watch this. It was the most fucking boring thing I've ever watched."
Is that all he says?
Rebecca and Laura Bailey were really fun, but my god, did the presentation just feel dire.
I mean, I can agree with him. There was a lot of stuff in there that just wasn't interesting. You really had to pick and choose with this one, I think.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Which is maybe that's why I enjoyed it. Maybe I slept through the uninteresting part.
Anyway,
that's
can we,
probably it. We can definitely.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's 10:15 as we're recording this right now, and I'm tired.
I mean, we were living the boringness of some of these things.
But that's what I mean. Nintendo. Let's Nintendo.
They killed off half the Brawl roster. Or Smash Brothers roster.
So Smash Bros is getting Street Fighter.
Street Fighter? You mean Tekken?
Jesus Christ, Griff.
Kazuya Mishima from Tekken. Yeah.
My intern, everyone.
Is it Tekken?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like fighter games. Why? The only fighter game I've ever played is Smash and Injustice. That's it.
Well, now imagine Batman beating on Mario.
Remember that I said that as a joke? I said like, oh, this like I thought it had something to do with like we thought it had something to do with like Zelda or something because it was Ganondorf. It was being
they showed Ganondorf being dead.
I was like, what the fuck? Is Link doing like a fucking Kazuya and throwing or a Heihachi and throwing like him in the fire? And it's like, oh, that's actually Kazuya. What the fuck? Because that's the thing that happened.
I mean, it had comedic value, and they actually did quite a deep dive, right?
At the end of it.
Because I think it was like in Tekken. I think it was Tekken 2, or I don't know. I don't really remember, but it was like I think it was 2 where Heihachi threw like Kazuya in the fire, and then in one of the later installments it was the other way around. The Kazuya was like "fuck you, Heihachi," and he threw him in the fucking volcano. So, yeah.
Which means there's now an official crossover direct route between Super Smash Bros. And PlayStation All Stars.
Oh shit!
Now get them together.
Now we need Kratos. Now we need Kratos so Mario can say, "Fuck you, Kratos!" Like, you know?
Fuck you, okay, Don.
Like in the fucking...
I'm taking that accent.
I
shove it
tell
up
you what's
your
weird.
ass.
They seem to be pumping out now the ability that you can stream AAA titles to your Switch, with Life is Strange and Guardians of the Galaxy both coming to Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still think that streaming games is the future, so I support this.
I've not tried the streaming feature yet. I know you can stream Control to Switch and Hitman, but I've not tried it yet.
I
So-
mean, the PlayStation
I haven't
already
tried
struggles
Switch.
with
I mean,
Control.
I don't have a Switch.
The PlayStation has a problem to gain control when it's playing Control a lot of the time.
Nice.
I'm burning. And, I mean, the Switch definitely can't run that without, like, streaming it.
Oh, are they re-rasting? What the fuck?
Re-rasting.
Are they Are they remastering the Monkey Ball Banana Mania game?
Yeah,
Is that
they are re-restoring it. No, I
They're
think that's a new one.
Re-restorating.
Is it? Was it Super Monkey Ball?
Super Monkey
I
Ball
mean, is there
Banana
anybody in their
Mania.
right mind who really cares about Super Monkey Ball?
Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. That's a sequel to Super Monkey Ball Banana Split. No, that's not true.
Is it?
Could have gone with that though.
All I can remember is like that one Mario Kart parody video with Donkey Kong and the banana, and I'm traumatized.
Yeah, that was also the one
that was a
that was
surprise. And then
that was also
Awkward silence.
that was the same video where they said where
do this,
it was Mario that said like "fuck you, Kratos," like towards the end. I think that video is literally called "Racist Mario" or something.
Oh,
he was
God.
a surprise. So they said that Metroid
Dread.
is four.
Oh yeah,
Metroid is 4.
Metroid is for
and
the
that's
players.
all to be worked on, and then they announced Metroid Dread, which was a surprise. Not a lot of people saw that coming.
Yeah, different team though. But
Yeah.
I mean, Metroid has always been kind of split into, ever since the release of Metroid Prime, into like the whole first person
Kinda like-
shooter thing. First person shooter. Jesus. It's
Wow,
like,
it's projected onto you.
yeah, I know, it's contagious. Like most things in Metroid Dread. And
Nice.
Metroid Dread, which is more in the 2D style, like Super Metroid back then. And I think it was actually a direct sequel to that. So I can see why they're doing it.
I mean, I think they're gonna do
there's
a
a
chase
good
thing
even
because
split.
I think they did like wasn't that in like another 2D Metroid game before where they had Dark Samus like chase you throughout the game. I think it could be similar to that.
Maybe.
Don't remember what that
What
is.
they did say is that those robots they showed during the trailer are actually not destructible, so you can't fight them. So it's
Yeah.
gonna be more stealthy and technique based.
Damn.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I like that Metroid's going back to more of its roots or more of the way that it used to be, not the the Prime games. So
To be fair, Metroid had a bit of a rough patch over the last few years, especially for
Yes,
those 3DS
it's-
games. Like, ugh.
Samus is not. She's not had a great run of it so far. Needs to redeem herself.
Yeah, so people can
Then
finally
Just Dance turned up, boogied its way into our
Boogie,
fucking
doogie,
faces once again.
yeah, without pandas.
Oh my
again.
god! Then you'll never guess what turned up. It was Monster Hunter Stories 2.
Yeah, why?
And then there's just
Get it together, Griff.
sorry, and then there's just a lot of shit I don't care. I mean, a lot of people are very excited about the new WarioWare game.
Which is called Get Together.
WarioWare?
Hey. Yeah,
Oh,
cool.
come on.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was a worse
cool.
joke.
I don't. That's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh my god, Nintendo saved it. Did they save it?
Shin Megami Tensei look cool, but I'm a sucker for
Oh,
Persona,
yeah.
so by extent, kind of works for me.
Yeah, the thing is, like, Shin Megami Tensei is almost like, because it's the original series, it feels like the Persona series is a bit of a parody on Shin Megami Tensei, but it just works better because
Yeah.
there's humor. I feel like Shin Megami Tensei, like, from what I've seen, I've never played any of the games, it just looks like it takes itself too serious, and I'm like, I mean, that's not my thing.
I know full well that there are Shin Megami Tensei fans who will murder me for the statement. But Shin Megami Tensei feels like an unrefined Persona to me.
I mean, it did come first.
Personal opinion, I know a lot of people really enjoy this game and I see why. I just prefer Persona. That's it.
Yeah, for sure some silliness. I mean...
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
some Doom DLC. Sorry, it's just I can't. Some Doom DLC got announced. Not at the Bethesda conference, but in the Nintendo conference.
Like, Bethesda was like, oh, here's something people actually like. Put that away.
Put it in Nintendo. We don't care about it anymore. We're part of Microsoft.
I also don't remember... I guess I was eating, but I don't remember, like, the Fatal... Like, was Fatal Frame, like... was that, like, a remake of Fatal Frame, or was that, like, a new game? What
I think
the
it
fuck?
was.
What the fuck
I
was
think
that?
it was a remake.
Hold on.
Because I kind of missed out
right
because I
there.
was eating at that point.
It's Fatal Fame, Maiden of Blackwater. So I don't know if that's
Fatal Fame.
Fatal Frame.
Did I say it wrong?
It's a game where you take pictures of the ghost. It's like Pokemon Snap but with ghosts. that's get it right, Griff. It's Pokemon Snap with
They're
ghosts.
very camera shy.
Yeah. They're like, camera,
God damn it.
my only weakness.
I think it's just a re-release. I think it might be a remaster.
I mean, I guess I'll see. The thing is, then it also
I
is
think,
Tony
I think
Hawk's
it is a remaster. It's not
Tony
a
Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Like, I didn't really care about that. Like,
Which,
remastered.
I'm sorry, it did not look good on Switch. It
Mm.
did not. Play it on literally anything else.
Also-
I don't think it looks that good on Switch. But that's
I haven't wanted to play like the arcade style of a Tony Hawk game since Skate came out, which is more like it's less of an arcadey feeling, but it's more of a simulation. But it's just
Oh my
controls.
god, and then,
maybe.
weird, you'll never guess what, but
better.
Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope turned up
Oh, yeah,
once
obviously.
again to save E3 from the clutches of its despair.
I mean,
Ouch.
yeah, suicide is always an option.
And there was the
That was a
expansion.
joke for legal reasons.
Let's just
He just-
let's just continue on from that. Yes, then
No,
Zelda.
I did, that was a great joke. It was
Zelda!
classy.
Cut that
It was
out.
classy.
More Zelda, please.
No, but honestly,
Right.
Mark, I don't like this game, and I think I've...
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like that game?
No, really.
Weird.
Yeah, and then Nintendo wanked on the corpse that is Link for a couple of minutes. I mean,
Jesus,
it's not a corpse.
alright.
He
It's
wanked
a
on the
very
corpse.
alive
And I thought my
franchise.
suicide joke was bad.
But the thing is, they talked about not Hyrule Warriors. They talked about which Zelda's
Sword.
being. Thank you. They talked about that. Then they talked about an expansion for Hyrule Warriors. Then they talked
Yeah.
about that fucking watch. That's a Zelda game. Who the fuck cares?
So basically what happened for these so many minutes, they basically grabbed Link by his ear and then just whispered in it, "Your name's Twink now, bitch," and then just dry fucked him up the ass. That's what happened. But it wasn't but it wasn't enjoyable.
Sorry,
It
actually,
wasn't
let me rephrase. They suckled on the teat that is the Legend of Zelda that just prints out money apparently for Nintendo.
that was very British.
So they sucked on Zelda's tits. I mean,
Yeah, there's that.
that's sounds.
Or
I
Links.
was thinking of Link's
Link's.
tits.
I don't produce milk. Stop it! Just keep sucking on.
Zelda is the guy in the green clothes, right?
I could hear you in your head already
No.
correct yourself from that forceful mistake.
Weird.
I saw
I know,
his face go.
that was-
oh
that
shit!
was
I know I'm
weird.
making the joke. Yeah. In fairness,
My
for
brain was like,
years I
"You're not
made that
saying that
mistake.
right."
Zelda-
For years I was like, "Oh look at Zelda." It's like no,
Zelda
that's
is the
Link.
owl.
What the fuck are you doing?
Weird. Zelda is the owl.
My brain tried to correct itself while trying to be incorrect. That came out really weird.
You know why the
Okay,
game is
and then
called
they showed
Legend of
Breath of
Zelda,
the
right?
Wild.
It's told from the perspective of the owl that turns its head upside down, and his name is Zelda.
Would you like me to repeat all of that for the next 30 minutes?
Oh no! I accidentally pressed yes. No.
Yeah, I swear to God, that fucking owl and the Duolingo bird are somehow related.
I had that. Like I was like, "This is fuck. Stop! Shut the fuck up, stupid shit." And then would you like me to repeat that? And I was like, "Oh no!" And then it just started.
Oh, hey, Link, it seems like you haven't done your Spanish lesson today. Like, fuck off.
Spanish, por favor.
Anyway,
Just bricks.
To round off Nintendo, they announced Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, or more, just showed a new trailer.
Which surprisingly focused a lot on gameplay, actually.
It did, but I don't know how much you can take away. Like, there's a little bit of
Exactly.
time manipulation. There's a bit of anti-gravity,
A little
or
bit of
and
fluids.
they've taken Hyrule and they've fisted it up into the air. Like,
Oh, you think someone just uppercut the castle?
I think
someone just uppercutted half of Hyrule into the sky.
I think I figured.
Zelda, who knows?
I think I figured out what my you know that I had my criticism of Breath of the Wild, that it feels so barren and empty and like boring for an open world. I think it's limitations of the Switch, isn't it? Isn't that what leads to that? Because if you look at like nice worlds that have been purposefully designed, this almost feels like a pre-rendered like world that was like just like randomly generated and stuff put in it. For example, if you look at like Ghost of Tsushima, there's something beautiful everywhere, and that map isn't small either. But like there's something beautiful to look at like almost everywhere you go. And then Breath of the Wild is like, oh, there's mountain, grass. I mean, there's nothing interesting to see here. There's a tree. Good. I mean, Skyrim had something to look at like everywhere you went almost. It's also a big map. What the fuck is up with like Breath of the Wild's empty map? A lot of the time, I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I still enjoy Breath of the Wild because I kind of breezed through the story. So I went from story point to story point, which were usually the parts that were really interesting.
The best way to play.
So I kind of skipped out on actually exploring, which I don't think this game is made for.
That
I
is
don't
Not,
think.
and I
that
tell
is-
you what, that's
that
probably
is the
one of the many
problem.
aspects in which I don't like Breath of the Wild. But so for my birthday, I was graciously gifted by some lovely people a Pro controller, and at that very coincidental time, Zelda Breath of the Wild went down to £30 in the Nintendo store. So I've grabbed it, I've started it again, and I'm actually enjoying it this time.
Are you going from
Because you're
story
playing
to
it
story, or are you
differently, right?
also?
I'm playing it like a game, not with that. It's that fucking Joy-Cons. I can't do. I'm not even getting into it. I just can't do Joy-Cons
But-
shit like that.
But
I
is
need a
it?
controller.
But do you
Anyway,
think
that's-
it's an interesting game?
I still
as, like,
hate the
from
durability of weapons. Anyway,
Yeah, true.
Is it an
I
interesting
modded
game
it.
from like an exploration point of view, or is it just like you're going through the story like Weird said?
yeah. So sometimes, like when I play Fallout 4, I just go off and then I'm like, I'm gonna go over here and I'm just gonna explore and get all my XP up. But with Breath of the Wild, I think you stick to the path. You can meander, but don't meander too far, otherwise you'll something will go wrong and it will
See, that's the thing,
But-
because like the original
gonna finish it this
idea
time.
for Zelda
Hand on
was
heart.
that like
I'm gonna finish
that's
it.
the original idea for Zelda games was that exploration part of it, and I think they kind of fucked that up in this one. And I don't. I hope they do a
But
better job at the second one. It's
for hand on heart, I'm saying it on the podcast. I'm saying it in front of people. I'm gonna finish it this time.
Alright.
I am going to try and finish Breath of the Wild. It is a game I have restarted 5 times. This is my 6th, and I need to finish it.
yeah.
Tell you what, though, if I have to do that opening the Great Plateau again, I'm going to actually murder someone. I'm just gonna,
Just gonna take Link and jump off the plateau.
No, I'm just gonna take his Sheikah slate and just blunt, just try and bash someone in with it.
Blunder the King of Hyrule.
Yeah, I will. If he tells me about his fucking daughter one more time,
And then the owl gets it.
just give me the glider.
Oh god, I want to shoot that owl.
Anyway. Breath of the Wild 2, yeah, cool. Let me finish the first one first, and then maybe I'll get excited for the second one.
So yeah,
Anyway, how many Zeldas with
How many Zeldas?
how many Zeldas?
Always a valid question.
I'm so tired now. I can't think of a joke. Just
gonna
how many
give it-
Zeldas?
I'm gonna give it about like
How many
I'm gonna give
thrown
it
down Smash characters down the volcano?
I'm gonna give it like seven bananas up one Donkey Kong's ass.
Oh god.
Flashbacks.
I'll give it. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching Nintendo, and I was lying on my bed, and someone from work was texting me about work, and at the very time that, like, I was getting so bored, I just started doing work halfway through. So I'm gonna give it a 4 Zeldas out of 10 Links.
Oh shit,
I'll
no.
let you decide which one's which.
I just became more cynical. I'm gonna change my score. I'm gonna change my score into what? No Fire Emblem? Fuck you.
I'm gonna give it 7 murdered characters by Kazuya, but Kirby flew back up, so it's more 7.5. Let's go.
Nice.
And
Okay, Connor, you wrote down a lot, so I'm just gonna talk about the stuff that we've talked about. Sorry, Bram, I know you were about to say. You say what you were gonna say.
does that character thrown down? Does that like include the edit of like the arms guy dragging Kazuya down with him? Like there was that little edit that was found on the internet. Because in the actual video he like kicks the arm down, but there's like an edit where the arm just pulls him off of the volcano as well.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, so Connor spoke about how he did not care about the Smash Bros. Reveal. He liked the look of the Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania is happening, and I know these games are very fun. Metroid Dread. This game looks like it will be really fun and feed my lust for Metrovanias. I love the character design and the enemy robots. It looks creepy, and I'm glad. And I love the design of Samus. I think it looks great. I know Weird's going to hate this, so I'll try and be positive. Sparks of Hope looks fun. I like that they're going away from the grid-based system and are going to make a more free movement game.
Connor, there's always help out there. And failing that, other rule build.
Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC, Zelda on a motorbike. That's it. The Game and Watch looks like it's some, I don't know. Now then, the sequel to Breath of the Wild. I don't know. I got bored. I'm not gonna like Connor. If you're listening to this, I got bored reading that sentence. Now then, the sequel to Breath of the Wild looks very good. I loved the first game. It's such a nice world to get lost in. It all looks really fun, and hopefully they lean into a darker and creepier tones that have some of the previous Zelda titles have done. I did read that as titties in my head. Majora's Mask comes to mind.
What is with your titties today?
I don't know.
Usually I'm not that interested in
I think I'm straight when I'm tired. Hopefully they also go back to the trope that previous Zelda games had, where they had multiple dungeons you had to explore, as I do feel like Breath of the Wild did lack that, only having the Divine Beast that you couldn't go back and redo to get any treasure that you might have missed. There you go. That's I honestly, person listening, I can't even tell you how much he wrote on the though. That was very
talking about the whole tit stock. Like for some reason, like the swear word that I had on my mind a lot of like earlier today, even though I don't think it's something that exists, was like, what was it again? Like piss tits or something, or titty piss, I don't know, something like that. That was like,
ooh, why?
There was some weird fucking word that I had in my. Like when I had to swear earlier, it was like something like that came out. And I was like, where the fuck does that come out?
Fuck.
I think it was piss tits. I don't know.
Right. Do we want to talk? No one here watched Wholesome Games.
No, but
they?
like the easiest thing to say about it is like, I mean, the only thing that I've actually seen, I think we saw it somewhere else. There's mention of the Wandering Village there, but that was somewhere else as well, wasn't it? That wasn't
end of PC gaming.
Wasn't that also in Summer Games Fest? No, wasn't. No,
that was at the end of the PC gaming.
Yeah, I mean that's the one that looks interesting to me as well, from those things.
I tell you the thing about Wholesome Games Direct. It was nice to just see. It was a lot of indie titles, and it wasn't anything like over. It literally was a wholesome game. So if you enjoy like little games that are on Switch, or little games that are on Steam that you pick up for 20 minutes and you drop, like your Stardew Valleys and your, other games.
That's a bad example for like 20 minutes. I
can't remember. I genuinely think about 50% of that conference I added directly to my Steam wish list. That's 100% true. I really enjoyed it. That being said, I don't have a highlight because I don't remember any of the games. But that's fine because they're on my list. So when they become available, I'll be like, well, I'll just spend £5 on this little game that I'm going to quite enjoy.
That's basically what it is, right? That's the up and down sides, because it's the perspective, the way you look at it. Like with a lot of indie games, you're not going to pay too much money for them, and like about the time you spend with them, maybe they come like actually they may be more expensive time-wise, like time, when you basically divide the time that you spend on, like the money that you spend on them through the time that you actually play them. Sometimes it could be that they come out as more expensive than an actual AAA game that you're gonna play for hours and hours. But it does like have that like unique spin to it a lot of the time with those indie games. It's like, it is like you have these unique game. What was I gonna say? You have these very unique, basically setups for games, but a lot of the times you don't have like a big team or something to work them out to the fullest. So you're gonna have a little bit of. Sometimes the downside to it is that you have like a little bit of a tech demo feel sometimes with the games themselves, because like, oh, this is an interesting thing. I wish there was more of it. Sometimes it also just is too bare bones eventually, and you're like, yeah, well, that was interesting for 20 minutes. That could sometimes happen, and then so it's a bit of like very, very hit and miss as well with this with this type of games. So
And
it's
I think what's hit and miss is E3 this year.
I think there's more
Now-
miss than hit there. There's no.
So, what conference what was everyone's favorite?
Joke answer or real answer?
Real answer.
I'm gonna get lynched for this, but probably Square Enix.
I think
can say that.
my favorite was Capcom.
Oh god, I forgot Capcom. We didn't even talk about Capcom.
Oh,
Capcom,
wait.
fuck
The
off.
one interesting thing though, they didn't have anything yet, but because so many people were interested in Resident Evil Village, there's gonna be DLC for Village at some point.
So we're only just
And
starting
that's
production.
the only interesting thing that we heard. Also, everyone who feels disappointed should probably let Capcom know that they want fucking Dino Crisis.
Oh my god, just big Dino Crisis!
True, by general like approach of the fans, they should have done a lot
Yeah,
of things.
why?
differently.
Like,
Ironically.
that's the
Big
thing.
Dino
Like,
Crisis,
they
oh my god.
even like there is a chance that they're like that they just started working on it and they don't want to tell us everything. But like, if they did that, like if there's some team working on it, why not just say that like, ooh, we're working on this, or just say that like anything.
And
They
that's
must be working on
exactly-
something apart from the
that's
shit that they're
exactly
talking
why
about.
I didn't like that announcement.
That's the problem. Like, the thing that Griff said was a problem with all of the other developers where they're like, hey, here we have this, and they showed like a snippet of like a title, or they showed like a contraband where you don't see anything. It's like, yeah, a game, you don't know what it's gonna be. Like, Capcom could have probably done something like that, because they're probably doing something, right?
They have to
Because
be.
if we go off their conference, they're
I
not
mean-
doing anything. There's just like a team working on DLC for Resident Evil, and there's nobody else doing anything. That's what it seems like if you believe what was shown to us. It basically looks like Capcom's doing nothing. That can't be good. Like, because this bullshit like this E3, it's not for us, right? Normally it's for the shareholders and shit. What message does this show the shareholders?
And
Full of-
that's
full
why
of
I
players.
didn't like the announcement that they made, because they said by demand of the fans, as
Yeah.
in like the major popularity of the Resident Evil, because of you, the fans of the game, we make it a sequel or a DLC in this case. That's absolutely not the fucking case. The case is, and it should say that in the trailer, because it makes us a whole fuckload of money.
Yeah.
We're making a DLC, which is okay. Having a profit is fine, but don't be so fucking dishonest about it.
Oh, well,
But it's
that's
also-
Capcom anyway. Anyway, I think we should wrap up because we've been going quite a while. I'll just say Connor's overall opinions on E3 this year, and then I'll let everyone else do their roundups. But overall, I found this year's E3 pretty damn average at best. Xbox and Nintendo had better presentations, and they actually showed shit that was worthwhile, and the ones we could have probably just been part of those too. There were multiple times where I felt like I could have just watched some kind of recap of it all. I don't think that's what a collection of multiple game presentations should do. I feel mostly disappointed, other than at most 10 games that actually intrigued me. Yeah,
That sums it up pretty
I
neatly.
think that's
I mean,
yeah.
the problem is most of the things that we're excited for now, and that's not necessarily what we're used to with E3. A lot of stuff that we were excited for was stuff that we already knew was coming. Like 12 minutes, we knew that was coming eventually. So I mean, that's one of those things. I mean, there's a few exceptions.
Yeah.
Like for example, Outer Worlds 2, we didn't know that was coming, but that's still far off. So there's Back for Blood, which we did know was already coming. So that's another one that we actually knew
And
about.
don't worry, they let themselves be aware that they were there.
Yeah, and
Hey, did you guys know that Monster Hunter is doing?
I think there was only 2 surprises, to be honest.
Anyway,
big title surprises.
Overall,
I think we only had the only thing that we had was Outer Worlds 2 and then Guardians of the Galaxy. That was the only actual surprises.
I mean, there's a lot of games. Looking at this list, there's a lot of games, but there's no substance to a lot of it right now. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of, you know how E3 is always like all about the hype. This year, the hype train basically ran into the station and stayed in its parking spot.
Yeah, I don't even feel like in my head though. I don't even feel like there was a hype train. Like I know for a fact that I personally created the hype train for our friendship group, especially within myself. I definitely created the hype train bigger than it should have been. But I'm sorry, E3 2021. It was underwhelming, and like I said at the beginning, I don't think I'm gonna watch it live next year.
yeah, I think this.
Truly,
the only way is up,
I have
right?
a life. I'm not staying up again. Although we didn't stay up that late
Wait,
this
but
year.
we do have it like.
Yeah. I mean, the only way is up,
Unless they like keep announcing like a lot of good stuff like throughout the year, and it's like it just becomes a thing that like like all the big announcements are just basically spread, and they're not it's not like, hey, here's some stuff that you get to see for example at E3, and then maybe some stuff like that's like closer to like, hey, we want to show you that there's still some stuff by the end of the year that you can buy like at Gamescom or something. They can sometimes show like some extra stuff that's like, hey, we really want you to buy this game for like Christmas and shit, you know, that type of stuff. Normally you have those like spread like games coming out and a lot of rapid succession of games, but now it's like so spread out that I think there's just not much to be hyped for in like a combined hype. Now it's just basically like you could be hyped for a game, but like it's just that game, and then a bit later you see another game, and then a bit later you see another game, but there's not like a combined hype train building up. Basically it's just like wagons of like hype which are just basically rolling around the tracks by themselves at a slow pace, and you're like, yeah, there's some hype.
Good analogy.
Yeah, I hope that hype doesn't crash.
Well, anyway, I think we should leave it there because Weird's bladder's going to explode. Yes. So thank you, everyone. Wait, I don't finish this out. Bram, finish this up.
Yeah, I mean, this is
a bit forceful.
This is basically how we're gonna end this shit. We could be back with one last thing, only if somehow the whole EA thing is like amazingly mind-blowing and it's something that could fill a podcast somehow, which, seeing how the rest went, very doubtful. But if it were to happen, or if Sony just does some shit in between as well, randomly at one point, then we could maybe do another thing. But like, I think E3 just wraps up as a disappointment, and we're gonna wrap up the second biggest shit show in the world here. Ouch.
What's the first?
EA. E3. Sorry. Yeah, EA is also a big shit show. Whatever. It's probably gonna be a big shit show.
Classic Freudian slip right there. Jesus.
Okay. Well, anyway, we love you all, and we'll see you when NAC 3 gets announced.
Oh, God, please no.
Damn.
Anyway, love you. Bye.
I think I Freudian slipped.
Premium purchase.